Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet.
Gunsmoke. The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Westerns on this Thursday edition of the podcast with Have Gun Will Travel from 1960, Gunsmoke from 1954, Frontier Town from 1953, The Challenge of the Yukon from 1949, and Lum and Abner from 1942. That's all coming up on this Sure Happy It's Thursday, 5th day of June. This is the 156th day of the year. Yeah, we do have 209 days remaining in 2025. Joseph and Jacques Montgolfier gave the first successful balloon flight demonstration on this date in 1783. In 1884, Civil War hero General William Tecumseh Sherman refused the Republican nomination for president with the words, "I will not accept if nominated, and I will not serve if elected." U.S. went off the gold standard on this date in 1933, and on this date in 1944, General Eisenhower made an announcement that implied D-Day was coming.
Soldiers, sailors, and airmen of the Allied Expeditionary Force, you are about to embark upon the great crusade toward which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. The hopes and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you. In company with our brave allies and brothers in arms on other fronts, you will bring about the destruction of the German war machine, the elimination of Nazi tyranny over the oppressed peoples of Europe, and security for ourselves in a free world. Your task will not be an easy one. Your enemy is well-trained, well-equipped, and battle-hardened. He will fight savagely. But this is the year 1944. Much has happened since the Nazi triumphs of 1940-41. The United Nations have inflicted upon the Germans great defeats in open battle, man to man. Our air offensive has seriously reduced their strength in the air and their capacity to wage war on the ground. Our home fronts have given us an overwhelming superiority in weapons and munitions of war, and placed at our disposal great reserves of trained fighting men. The tide has turned. The free men of the world are marching together to victory. I have full confidence in your courage, devotion to duty, and skill in battle. We will accept nothing less than full victory. Good luck, and let us all beseech the blessing of Almighty God upon this great and noble undertaking.
General Eisenhower foreshadowing the events that would occur on June 6th, 1944. Senator George Marshall proposed a plan on this date in 1947 to help Europe recover financially from the effects of World War II. It would become known as the Marshall Plan. It was on this date in 1956 Elvis Presley introduced his new single Hound Dog on the Milton Berle Show, scandalizing the audience with his suggestive hip movements. On this date in 1967, the Arab-Israeli Six-Day War began. And it was on this date in 1968, Senator Robert Fitzgerald Kennedy shot by an assassin and died the following day.
Senator Kennedy has been shot. Is that possible? Is that possible? Is it possible, ladies and gentlemen? It is possible. He has not only Senator Kennedy, oh my God. Senator Kennedy has been shot. And another man, a Kennedy campaign manager, and possibly shot in the head. I am right here. Rayford Johnson has a hold of a man who apparently has fired the shot. He has fired the shot. He still has the gun. The gun is pointed at me right at this moment. I hope they can get the gun out of his hand. Hold him, Rayford. Keep people away from him.
Reporter Andrew West of KRKD, at the time a Mutual Radio affiliate. In 1996, the collapse of the Teton Dam in Idaho. In 1981, the Centers of Disease Control published the first report about the disease that would later become known as AIDS. In 2001, Senator Jim Jeffords left the Republican Party, an act which shifted control of the Senate from the Republicans to the Democrats. In 2001, Tropical Storm Allison made landfall on the upper Texas coastline as a strong tropical storm and dumped large amounts of rain over Houston. It caused $5.5 billion in damage and making Allison the costliest tropical storm in U.S. history to the time. Over $9 billion in 2025. Elizabeth Smart, kidnapped from her Salt Lake City home on this date in 2002. It was on this date in 2004. Former President Ronald Reagan passed away.
Today marks my first State of the Union address to you, a constitutional duty as old as our republic itself. President Washington began this tradition in 1790 after reminding the nation that the destiny of self-government and the preservation of the sacred fire of liberty is finally staked on the experiment entrusted to the hands of the American people. For our friends in the press who place a high premium on accuracy, let me say, I did not actually hear George Washington say that. I will not make age an issue of this campaign. I am not going to exploit, for political purposes, my opponent's youth and inexperience. Although I've been around for a while, I can remember when a hot story broke and the reporters would run in yelling, "Stop the chisels." But I am aware of my age. When I go in for a physical now, they no longer ask me how old I am. They just carbon date me. The story was an American and a Russian arguing about their two countries. And the American said, "Look, in my country, I can walk into the Oval Office, I can pound the president's desk and say, 'Mr. President, I don't like the way you're running our country.'" And the Russian said, "I can do that." The American said, "You can?" He says, "Yes. I can go into the Kremlin, to the General Secretary's office, pound his desk and say, 'Mr. General Secretary, I don't like the way President Reagan's running his country.'" Less than one family out of 7 in the Soviet Union owns an automobile. Most of the automobiles are driven by the bureaucrats. The government furnishes them and drivers and so forth. So an order went out one day to the police that anyone caught speeding, anyone, no matter who, gets a ticket. Well, Gorbachev came out of his country home, his dacha. He was late getting to the Kremlin. There was his limousine and driver waiting. He told the driver to get in the back seat, he'd drive, and down the road he went. They passed 2 motorcycle cops. One took out after him. And pretty soon he's back with his buddy, and his buddy says, "Well, did you give him a ticket?" And he said, "No." Well, he said, "Why not?" Oh, he said, "Too important." Well, he said, "We're told to give anybody a ticket, no matter who it is." Oh, he said, no, this one was too, I could. Well, he said, "Who was it?" He said, "I couldn't recognize him." But his driver was Gorbachev.
There were a lot of things that people could criticize President Reagan about. 2 things is that he stood by the standard of the buck stops here. Anytime somebody did something wrong, he took responsibility for it. The other thing is he had a sense of humor that always made you smile. President Ronald Reagan passing away on this date back in 2004. Others that passed away on this date, author O. Henry, Conway Twitty, hello, darling. Also, actress Jeanette Nolan, former mayor of Los Angeles, Sam Yorty, The Velvet Fog, Mel Torme, Blue Moon, wonderful voice, and science fiction writer Ray Bradbury. Birthdays on this date of those who are no longer with us include furniture maker Thomas Chippendale, Western lawman Pat Garrett, Mexican revolutionary Pancho Villa, the man who took Hopalong Cassidy and his discarded movies, bought them all up, bought the intellectual property, made himself a fortune. William Boyd, Hopalong Cassidy, born on this date. football star Art Donovan, and actor-writer Spalding Gray, all born on this date in history.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
Got a couple of journalists at the top of the game here, starting off with Bill Moyers, who is 91 today, and a personality on radio, TV, and the financial realm, Susie Orman is 42. Saxman Kenny G, 69 years old today. Singer Brian McKnight, 56. Also Mark Wahlberg, and of the Wahlburgers, 54 years old. And from Gilmore Girls and Scandal, Lisa Weil is 48. Those just a few of the people celebrating the 5th day of June as their birthday. If this happens to be your birthday...
Hi. We're the 4 freshmen, and we just want to say, Happy birthday to you!
We'll get to the westerns in just a moment, starting off with Have Gun Will Travel, but we'll make a few program notes after we take these very important messages.
The Crusade for Freedom is a crusade for your freedom and mine. The truth dollars people send the Crusade for Freedom help preserve our own freedom, even as they get the truth and hope to people behind the Iron Curtain. Truth dollars help finance Radio Free Europe and Radio Free Asia, the most effective weapons Western democracy has for countering lies and distortion. Send your contribution to the Crusade for Freedom, care of your local postmaster. That's Crusade for Freedom, care of your local postmaster.
Couple of quick program notes for you here. We are going to have, for the next 2 days, programs surrounding D-Day, going back to 1944, 81 years ago. We will have D-Day programs, and then we'll have programs the day after D-Day, all from 1944. This is a departure from what we usually do. In years past, we have done D-Day shows that strictly focus on the news items of the day. And this year, because we've got the podcast, because we don't have to cut everything down into a real tight little mix for an hour, which really wasn't an hour when we were doing the radio show. We were doing actually about 40 minutes when you take time out for news and commercials and all that, the stuff for the local stations. But what we're going to do is we're going to take you actually and let you hear the radio shows that aired on D-Day and the day after D-Day, and the tenor of the shows, as America could sense and feel that we were at the peak of the war, and that we were approaching a conclusion of World War II. And people were afraid of the boys. They were scared. As you heard on yesterday's Lum and Abner show, and if you didn't hear yesterday's podcast, the very end of the show, an individual from Pine Ridge died in combat. And that was the tenor of the time. You really didn't know. Anyway, that will be tomorrow on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. D-Day and on Friday, and on Saturday, D-Day +1. That's all coming up. And I won't talk, I won't need to talk a lot about it because there is so much passion in these shows that we'll just kind of let it play out. Well, I will do news from the 6th and 7th of June, but besides that, I'm not going to really do much except introduce the shows. And speaking of introducing shows, I better get underway. Oh, and I do want to say, we are coming up on summer. As you know, we always focus on the shows of the day. A lot of shows ran 39 weeks. They didn't do reruns in the early days, in the 30s and 40s. When transcription started taking hold and the ability to pre-record shows did run into the summer months sometimes in the 50s, and into the 60s. But that didn't happen much, didn't happen at all in the 30s and 40s. So just to let you know that you're not going to hear some of the big hit shows. You'll hear either some 50s shows or you'll hear some odd shows and rare shows, and we'll bring some of those summer replacement shows for you, as we did yesterday. We did with the Steve Allen show that took the place of our Miss Brooks. Okay, we're going to start up, though, with the only radio show we know of that was spawned from a television show, and that was Have Gun Will Travel. John Dehner as Paladin, going back 65 years, June 5th, 1960, Apache Concerto.
You're wrong, Miss Isles. I am a music lover. But we're not on a Sunday picnic. There are killers loose in this area, and we have to take every precaution.
Have Gun Will Travel. Starring Mr. John Dehner as Paladin. San Francisco, 1875. The Carlton Hotel, headquarters of the man called Paladin.
Hey, boy. Hey, boy. I hate to do this to you, hey, boy, but...
Isa, you want a room?
I have a room, thank you.
Isa. Mr. Paladin. Hey, boy, just close eyes at midnight for catnap.
At midnight? Some catnap is now 5 o'clock in the morning.
5 o'clock?
What are you doing on the desk?
Night clerk gets sick, hey, boy, take over. Hey, Mr. Paladin, why you have suitcase? You leave town?
Yes, I'm taking the early stage, hey, boy.
Oh, you get nice job?
Well, Mr. Alonso of the New World Music Company has asked me to find 2 friends of his who are missing in Arizona.
Yeah, plenty room in Arizona territory to get lost.
I know, hey, boy, but these people should be easy to find. Professor Oscar Isles and his niece, they sell harmoniums. I don't imagine they've passed unnoticed.
Harmoniums? What's that?
There's a parlor organ, hey, boy. It plays music. You've seen them.
Yes,
Oh, by the way, I have 2 tickets to the opera tomorrow night, but I won't be able to make it. Here, why don't you take Miss Wong?
Thank you, Mr. Paladin. Hey, boy, always want to see opera. What is opera like?
Well, it's somewhat like a play with music.
Many dancing girls.
No, I'm afraid not. Not in this one, anyway. But I understand the soprano carries enough weight to make up for several dancing girls.
Then, hey, boy, what soprano?
I'm afraid you'll have to, hey, boy. You can't miss her.
Crisis in Paris. Debate in the United Nations. Trouble in Turkey or Tokyo. North, south, east, or west, CBS News covers the news because CBS News maintains large staffs of crack correspondents to give eyewitness immediacy to their reports. No station that lacks affiliation with a network of the dimension and scope of CBS Radio can possibly give you this eyewitness clarity. If you want to know what's going on now, if you prefer your news new, not warmed over, you're already making a habit of CBS News on CBS Radio. You are exercising selective judgment. With hundreds of correspondents at or within fast flight of all major world developments, CBS News pledges continued coverage of what happens wherever it happens. The first word in speed, the last word in accuracy. Yours on this station, daytime or night. Your key to all the world's happenings reported by the famous names of CBS News. Your ticket of admission to full understanding of history and the happening is this station's affiliation with CBS Radio.
The hardest part of my journey to Arizona was the seat of the stagecoach. At the end of the line, the saddle of the horse I rented felt soft in comparison. Professor Oscar Isles and his niece Elsa were well remembered at places where they had given concerts displaying the New World Harmonium. Their trail led into rugged country, and late one afternoon I looked down into a valley. and saw a wagon careening along a rough road. Unmistakably, it was the professor and his niece, and they were having considerable trouble. A group of riders were following the wagon, and the old man was firing a rifle at them. The young woman beside him fought to control the spooked horses. They had to be stopped before the wagon overturned. I rode down to help them.
Help! Help!
Hang on to the reins. Una, steady there. Una. Stop firing that rifle.
Those are outlaws back there.
Well, whoever they are, they've pulled up. They're just waiting.
Those are desperate-looking men. They've been chasing us.
Uncle is only trying to protect us.
If they had planned to harm you, ma'am, the way your uncle was firing that gun wouldn't have stopped them. Now, let's just wait and see what they have on their minds.
Uncle, one of them is riding toward us.
Now, don't worry, my dear. I have him in my sights.
Which is about the safest place for him to be. Now, just put the gun down.
Howdy. Can I talk with you? I'm a U.S. Marshal.
Ride on up, Marshal.
He looks like a criminal to me.
Looks don't always make the law, man. My name is Paladin, Marshal.
Well, I'm John Bone. I didn't mean to stampede these folks, Paladin. Only wanted to tell them something.
We saw you. You were chasing us.
No, ma'am. Just waiting for the gent here to run out of ammunition or the horses to run out of steam. Me and my men were...
Those are your men? Those savages?
Indian scouts. They're about the finest trackers you can get. Let the Marshal talk.
Thank you, Paladin. We've been trying to ride down a renegade named Chivaro. Heard that him and his half-breeds have come up from the border to do some raiding.
Oh, no.
Afraid so, ma'am. They're all known killers, too. We were going to warn you to make for a town or fort.
Is this Chivaro supposed to be close by?
Well, I'm not sure. We're heading for the last place they were seen. Maybe we can trail them from there, but it's getting kind of late in the day. Guess we'll have to make camp.
You mind if we camp with you? And then I'll escort these folk to the nearest settlement tomorrow.
Glad to have you, Paladin. I'll tell my men.
Professor Isles, we can make camp here if you don't mind.
Did you call me Professor Isles?
I did. And you are Miss Elsa, his niece, right?
Yes, but... Well, how did you know?
Mr. Alonso in San Francisco was worried about you. You're long overdue, so he sent me to find you.
Not really.
Where have you been?
Well, we kept getting lost and having to start over.
Uncle Oscar, I told you we should have written.
But I wanted to surprise dear Alonzo.
Well, we better make camp.
Those savages, are they really going to be with us?
They are, for the night. And you should be mighty grateful.
Well, I doubt if I'll be able to sleep with them camped with us.
Well, let me tell you, Professor, I wouldn't be able to sleep without them. Now that I know Chivaro and his renegades are nearby.
I must admit, Mr. Paladin, it's quite reassuring to have Marshal Bone and his men standing guard.
I thought you'd feel that way when it got dark.
It's rather frightening to think there may be killers out there beyond the firelight.
Chivaro and his men are mostly Apache half-breeds, ma'am, and not likely to attack an armed camp. Then you never know.
Well, it's much too gloomy around here. Uncle Oscar, what we need is some music.
Why, Elsa, my dear, it's a splendid idea. You can play for these gentlemen to express our thanks. Come, I shall lower the tailgate.
I'm sure Mr. Paladin is a music lover. I shall dedicate my concert to him.
What are they talking about, Paladin?
We are about to be favored by Miss Elsa Isles at the Harmonium. Come on, Marshal.
I ain't heard the harmonium since I was in church last. That's longer than I care to think about.
Oh, and now, gentlemen, I take pleasure in presenting my lovely niece, Miss Elsa Isles, in concert at the compact but mighty console of this splendid New World Harmonium. Ready, Elsa, dear?
All ready, Uncle. Any requests, Mr. Paladin?
Oh, just something soft and gentle, Miss Isles.
I shall do my best. Just for you, Mr. Paladin.
Before I realized it, I was lost in the music played by the lovely girl. Her beauty and the music of the little harmonium was an unusual contrast to the rugged wilderness and the black night. I wasn't the only one absorbed by the sight and sound. Marshal Bone seemed hypnotized. and his men moved closer, gazing intently at the girl. They were entranced by the strange music. Even the ones on guard turned their backs to the night and wandered toward the wagon. This would never do. I was about to stop her when she finished her first selection.
Delightful, my dear. Now play my favorite.
All right, Uncle.
Professor, I'm sorry, but I think we'd better end the concert for tonight.
But why, Mr. Paladin?
I've only started.
Marshal.
Huh?
Take a look at your men.
Well, I'll be... Get back to your posts, men. Paladin's right, ma'am. I almost forgot where we were. Thank you for the music, ma'am.
Well, Mr. Paladin, you're evidently not the music lover I thought you were.
A music lover I am, Miss Isles. I also have a great love for life.
You mean the renegades might be out there?
They might be.
Real cigarette, have a Camel.
Have a Camel cigarette.
Have a real cigarette, have a Camel. Have a Camel cigarette. Best tobacco makes the best smoke.
Have a Camel cigarette.
Best tobacco makes the best smoke. Have a Camel cigarette.
If you're smoking more these days, but enjoying it less, change to Camels. The Camel blend of costly tobaccos has never been equaled for real smoking satisfaction. Have a real cigarette.
Have a Camel.
Start to really enjoy smoking again.
The night passed without incident. I tried to get as much rest as I could, for I knew that herding my musician friends through killer-infested country would be no picnic. I hated to see Marshal Bone and his men ride off just before dawn, but I knew they had a job to do. So did I. Getting the professor and Elsa on the road was not easy, but somehow we were soon on our way.
Really, Mr. Paladin, I don't see why we had to start at such a disgustingly early hour. Why, the sun isn't even up.
Now, Elsa.
Miss Isles, if I'm to be responsible for your safety, you'll have to follow my rules of the road.
Mr. Paladin's right, Elsa. We should be thankful he's here.
I'm sure Mr. Alonzo paid him handsomely.
He did, ma'am. He thinks you're worth protecting, even if you don't. All right, now let's travel. Keep your eyes open. We can start again as soon as I tie this water barrel back on the wagon.
Whatever you say, Mr. Paladin.
The horses ought to be rested by now. There. That'll do it. We'll need that water. There's desert country ahead. Hey, where's your uncle?
He went into that thicket over there. He saw a bird.
You what?
Uncle Oscar is keeping a notebook of unusual flora and fauna we see on our trip.
Look, I told you both to stay close to the wagon. Professor Isles.
He'll be back.
Professor Isles.
He couldn't have gone far.
Miss Isles, in this country, just behind that thicket is far. Come on, we better find him.
Oh, very well.
I wish I could convince you and your uncle that we're not on a Sunday outing. You know that Chivaro is in the area. We have to take every precaution.
Mr. Paladin, we're not children.
I wonder, Miss Isles. Professor! You sure this is the thicket?
Yes, I'm certain. Uncle Oscar! I wonder what could have happened to him.
Well, stay close. There's a small clearing through these bushes. Come on.
Mr. Paladin, look.
Do not fire the gun, senor.
No.
My knife will slice his throat.
Mr. Paladin.
Quiet.
My men surround you. Drop your gun, senor. Bueno. No, please, come forward.
Do as he says.
That's better, amigos. Now I can let this funny old man go without hurting him.
Elsa, he was going to kill me.
Oh, Uncle Oscar. What will we do, Mr. Paladin?
You better ask him. Senor Chivaro, I believe.
Si, amigo, I'm Chivaro. And I will decide what is to happen to you.
You better make a wise decision, Chivaro. There's a posse not too far away.
This I know. That is why we return to the border. And now, amigos, because of you, Chivaro will travel in safety, comprende?
I think I do. We're your prisoners till you get back into Mexico. Hostages to keep you from being attacked.
See, with you among us, we will not worry about the gringo with the badge.
And after you cross the border, what then?
What then, senor? You and the old one here, my Apache brothers, can have to do what they will. And as for the senorita, we will see.
Mr. Paladin, what does he mean?
Miss Isles, I'm afraid this is no time to explain. Just pray that you never find out. The professor and I were tied to the back of the wagon, half dragged along the dusty road. Chivaro rode up with Elsa, taunting her mercilessly. Just as the professor was about to collapse, we luckily had to stop for camp as it was growing dark. Guards were posted, and the professor and I were untied, forced to sit near the campfire. Much to the amusement of his men, Chivaro made sport of Elsa by climbing up into the wagon and throwing out her personal effects one by one. Professor, can you hear me?
Yes, Paladin. What is it?
Don't look for yourself, but I just saw Marshal Bone, a couple of his men, up on the bluff against the moonlight.
Oh? Can they help us?
Well, they can't attack with us caught in the middle. Chivaro's guards haven't seen them. They're too busy watching Chivaro. We've got to find a way to help.
You come up on this wagon, senorita. You play this music box for me.
Oh, I will not, and you can't force me to. Uncle, Mr. Paladin.
I say you will play, senorita. And Chivaro mean what he say.
Let go of my arm, you're hurting.
Paladin, can't we stop him?
Miss Isles.
Come up on that wagon.
Wait. Please, play for me.
What?
Play just as you did last night.
But I don't...
Please, Miss Isles.
All right, Mr. Paladin.
Hey, my better, senorita. Look, Carl, you made the music for Chivaro. I put you up on the work.
Are you thinking of Paladin making her play for that ruffian?
Remember what happened last night when she played? We were all practically hypnotized by the music. It might happen again. Only Chivaro and his renegades will be the victims.
Oh, what then?
I'm not sure. I only hope that Marshal Bone and his men will take it as a signal to move in.
But Paladin...
She's starting.
Qué linda, eh?
Again, the music had its effect. Chivaro stared at Elsa as she played. His men were like children, intrigued by what they saw and heard. All of them turned toward the wagon, their guard duty, everything else forgotten. As I had hoped, Marshal Bone started to move. On the edge of the darkness around the fire, I saw one of his men move up on a renegade guard and silently pull him down behind a boulder, strangling him. Another guard quietly disappeared as the marshal's men took positions as close to the campsite as they dared. Elsa neared the end of her selection. I knew it was time to act. There was a guard near me, his rifle slack in his hands as he listened to the music. I had to get the gun to use on Chivaro before he could hurt Elsa. Hey, amigo. Chivaro, aquí. Miss Isles. Miss Isles, you all right?
Yes, Mr. Paladin, I think so.
Well, let me help you down from the wagon. There. I guess you can see now why I wanted you to play.
Yes, Mr. Paladin, I can. And thank you. Thank you ever so much.
Howdy, Paladin.
Hey,
ma'am.
Paul.
Sorry to break up another one of your concerts.
Oh, that's quite all right, Marshal Bone. After those renegades, you and your men look like angels.
Oh, we're not exactly angels, ma'am. Any of you folks hurt?
I guess not, but Chivaro and his men are not so fortunate.
Yeah, I think we got them all. And you get the credit for Chivaro, Paladin.
Wait a minute. Where's the professor?
Oh, no. Over there, he's fallen.
Come on. Let me check him, Miss Isles.
He's so still.
He's breathing, though.
Don't see no wound.
But he doesn't move. Uncle Oscar?
No, don't be upset. I think he'll come through.
But what's wrong with him?
Oh, not too much, Miss Isles. It's my personal diagnosis that the good professor has just fainted. Come in. Ah, Miss Wong. Hey, boy.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Paladin. Missy Wong and Head Boy come to welcome you back.
Well, that's most thoughtful of you.
You find people, Yukon?
Yes, Miss Wong, yes. The lost are found and safely delivered.
Oh, that's very good, Mr. Paladin. You bring back something interesting?
Ah, that's why you're here. You heard about my harmonium, huh?
Hey, boy, and Missy Wong are most curious about music box.
Well, it's right over here.
Oh.
It was presented to me for services rendered.
Look at that.
Yeah, I have quite an attachment for this instrument. It saved my life.
Most beautiful.
Yes, Mr. Paladin, can you play this harmonium?
No, hey, boy, I'm afraid not. Maybe someday I'll learn how. Oh, by the way, did you two use those tickets to the opera?
Oh, most certainly, Mr. Paladin. Missy Wong and Hey Boy go, but not understanding one word.
Oh, words very strange. But we think music, very lovely.
Well, I guess words aren't always important. Music hath charms to soothe the savage beast, to soften rocks or bend a knotted oak.
Yes, Mr. Paladin think Missy Wong and Hey Boy savages?
Oh, no. Of course not, hey, boy. No, I was just quoting from a play by Mr. William Conrad. And I never realized what he said was so true.
Pepsi-Cola refreshes without filling. Why? Because it's truly light.
Charlie, you're forgetting something.
Wait, Kay, there's more. Yes, ice-cold Pepsi is the delicious refreshment that goes great at a picnic or a party.
But, Charlie...
And Pepsi goes fast. People like it, so keep plenty handy. There.
Oh, you did fine, except for one thing.
Well, I mentioned lightness and how Pepsi refreshes and how fast it goes.
You left out Pepsi sociability. You know the Be Sociable song.
But, Kay, I can't sing.
I can. Listen.
Be sociable, look smart, keep up to date with Pepsi. Drink light, refreshing Pepsi. Stay young and fair and debonair. Be sociable, have a Pepsi.
Well, at least I can say this. Pick up an extra carton of Pepsi today.
Please do.
Have Gun Will Travel. Created by Herb Meadow and Sam Roth, is produced and directed in Hollywood by Frank Paris and stars John Dehner as Paladin, with Ben Wright as Hey Boy and Virginia Gregg as Miss Wong. Tonight's story was specially written for Have Gun Will Travel by Rod Peterson. Featured in the cast were Joseph Kearns, Barney Phillips, Lawrence Dobkin, and Eleanor Berry. This is Hugh Douglas inviting you to join us again next week when CBS Radio presents Have Gun Will Travel.
So this episode of Have Gun Will Travel brought up the interesting premise of the harmonium, a reed organ or pump organ, And it was made sound by blowing air through reeds, different pitches. It was born in Europe, quite interestingly, and it was conceived in the West many, many moons ago, designed by Christian Gottlieb Kratzenstein, a professor of physiology at the University of Copenhagen. And it's really kind of weird. He was a music guy as well. Not when he wasn't conducting physiology experiments. And it moved around the world. That was really odd. I did not know that. And it ended up becoming a part of Indian culture along the ways. Not American Indian culture, but Indian culture. When I hear things referred to as a harmonium, and I didn't, what's a harmonium? And I had to go look. So there you go. From 65 years ago, June 5th, 1960, Have Gun Will Travel here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We'll head to Dodge City next here as Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox continues.
We now bring you an important announcement for all Americans, particularly those of you who run your own business or are in a position to hire employees. This country is now engaged in a gigantic defense program which must be kept on schedule. There's no time to lose. To win, we've got to use every ounce of strength, industrial strength, in this contest to protect ourselves and the free world. That means we've got to give jobs, productive jobs, to all Americans. We've got to hire the handicapped. Thousands of handicapped persons, veterans and non-veterans alike, are ready, willing, and able to work. Thousands of others have proved on the job that when they're properly placed, they do every bit as good a job as their able-bodied fellow workers. So, Mr. Employer, give these folks a chance to help you increase your productive capacity. Hire the handicapped. Help them. Help your business. Help America.
And honest to goodness, if there's one thing that irritates me more than anything, it is the people who look down on the handicapped. And I would think we would be past that by now. People who are differently able than us. I don't want to say disabled, but people who may be either physically disabled, mentally disabled. It irritates me more than anything, and I'm sorry. We want to look at discrimination. There's where your discrimination is these days. Now, we're going to go back 71 years. June 5th, 1954, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. William Conrad, the real Marshall Dillon in my books, in this episode of Gunsmoke with the Blacksmith.
Around Dodge City and in the territory on west, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad, the transcribed story of the violence that moved west with young America. The story of a man who moved with it. Matt Dillon, United States Marshal.
I sure do thank you for that breakfast, Mr. Dillon.
Forget it, Chester.
My steak, eggs, potatoes, and a glass of beer. Why, that could last a man clean to noon dinner.
I guess it could.
Mr. Dillon, you figure Emil will have your horse shod by the time we get there?
He should.
You think he's done him any good?
He's a good blacksmith, Chester. If he trimmed up his feet right before he reset those shoes, he ought to be fine.
Funny the way he took throwing his foreleg.
Yeah. Now, looks like there's somebody else waiting.
Yeah. Gil Tallman, ain't it?
Yeah, I think it is.
I'm telling you something else, Dutchman. You can whistle for your money. You won't get it from me.
All right. I don't make you pay.
Morning after I got him home, he was so lame he couldn't walk. I'd have break your head.
Please, if it was my fault, something I did wrong, don't pay me anything.
That seems fair enough, Tolman.
Oh. Well, Marshal, this fool Dutchman messed up my pony, and then he wants to get paid on top of it.
Well, maybe it's a stone bruise.
It ain't no stone bruise, Marshal. It's pinched feet, that's what.
Is that the horse you're talking about?
Why, no, he's back at the place. This is another one.
How about my horse, Emil? You finished with him?
All finished. Now he walks good.
Ah, fine. Well, how much I owe you?
$2 all right, Marshal?
Sure. Here you are.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Chester, you get up behind. I'll ride you back to the office. Come on. There we go.
Marshal.
Yeah.
Mr. Tolman told lie.
Oh?
Yeah, the horse he ride just now is the one I shoot 2 days ago. You can see he's not lame.
He didn't seem to be.
There's sure nothing wrong the way he travels.
Emil, why's Tolman hoorahing you, huh? Do you know?
Maybe because I'm German. Maybe something else. Who knows?
And I'll ask him to settle his bill with you if you like.
No, Marshal.
Well, you won't get rich if you aren't paid, Emil.
Money is good, yeah, but better to have no enemies.
All right, Emil. Well, Chester, hang on.
Mercy on it! Mr. Dillon?
What, Chester?
Did you know that Lily Langtry's going to be here in a couple of weeks?
Oh, how did you know?
Mr. Hipple over at the Opera House told me. Oh. And in case I don't get to see her, he's going to let me have one of them big picture posters.
He is?
Yes, sir. The Jersey Lily. My, I sure would like to be tall hog at that trough. Oh, hello, Matt and Chester.
Hello, Doc.
Hello, Doc. Hey, did you know Lily Langtry's going to be here, Doc?
Oh, of course, Chester. I already paid Hipple for a chair.
Oh.
Oh, is this all you two got to do? Just sit around and talk?
Well, things are quiet, Doc. We can't always have a few shot-up cowboys just to keep you busy. Besides, we're waiting for the evening stage.
Wish I had the loan of a dollar. Maybe I'd get to see the Lily, too.
Chester, here.
Oh, no, sir.
Here's $1. Now, will you be quiet?
Well, sir, I sure do thank you, Mr. Dillon.
Marshal Dillon?
Oh, Emil, come in.
I just come by to see how your horse is.
Oh, fine, Emil, fine. I think that shoe and fixed him up.
Good.
Hey, you're all dressed up, Emil. You got your Sunday clothes on.
Yeah. I'm meeting stage 5 o'clock.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah. Got new wife coming.
Oh. You got what?
It's right.
Well, I didn't know you were married, Emil.
Oh, not yet married. I will get married after she arrives.
Well, forevermore. Who is it, Emil?
Well, I am doing good now and want to have wife and children. But girls here in Dodge don't want husbands. They like better the Texas Trail and Longhorn.
Well, there's a lot of excitement and money to be had working around a saloon.
That's true. So I answer advertisement in St. Louis paper.
You did what?
Advertisement. Says young German woman wants husband. So I write to the paper and say, come to Dodge City, be wife of Emil Volheta.
And she's coming in on this evening stage.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, well, that's just fine, Emil.
You got a place for her to stay?
Yeah, I talked to Mr. Green at the Dodge House.
Oh.
She'll stay there until I get a place ready behind my smithy.
It's here. The stage just pulled up the other side of the plaza.
Oh.
Well, good luck, Emil.
Oh. Marshal, you and Doc and Chester come too. I want you to meet Gretchen.
We'll be proud, Emil.
Yeah.
You know, funny thing, I'm not afraid of anything. But now, my stomach is sick.
Yeah, there's only one woman getting off the stage. That must be her.
Yeah?
She's a pretty little thing, ain't she?
Well, go on, Emil. She's standing there waiting. Oh, we'll stay here. Go on.
Well,
Well, go on, man. Go on. There's plenty of time to be nervous later.
oh, well. Grüß Gott.
Guten Abend.
Ich bin Emil Wolle da. Ich bin fröhlich und glücklich, dass Sie gekommen sind.
Herr Wohlheter?
Ich hoffe, die Reise war nicht
My,
so schwer.
listen to that.
Nein, ganz gar nicht. Ich bin erst heute her.
Makes you wonder how they can understand each other, don't it? Talking that way.
Oh, Chester, for heaven's sake.
Liebe Leute, ich werde Sie Ihnen
Oh, look, he's bringing her over here.
Sprechen Sie Englisch, Fräulein Kütchen?
Ja, natürlich.
Ach, gut. Marshal Dillon, Gentlemen, Miss Gretchen Schiller.
How do you do, gentlemen?
How do?
How do you do, ma'am? Welcome to Dodge, Miss Schiller.
Thank you, Marshal.
I hope you'll be happy here. And you certainly got a fine man.
I know much about him already. We have written.
Now, Marshal, I will take Gretchen to the hotel. Kommen Sie. Sie gehen jetzt. Gretchen, mal her.
She seems a little scared, doesn't she, Matt?
Now, Doc, she took a chance on coming out here.
Yeah, well, so did Emil. Getting married to a mail-order bride like buying a pig in a poke. You can't be sure till it's too late.
Oh, for the... No. Come on, Matt. This is an excuse for some sort of a celebration. I'll buy you a glass of rye. Hey, you too, Chester.
All right, Doc, since you're buying.
You know, I was just thinking, she's so little and Emil's so big, I hope he don't take it into his mind to beat her none.
Emil's about the gentlest man I've ever known, Chester.
And besides, Chester, men don't always beat their wives.
My pa did.
well. Sam, set out some glasses and a bottle of rye with me.
So then when the stage comes in a few minutes ago, I see where he gets himself a gal bought out of a newspaper.
Gil Tallman
One
again,
of
Mr.
them
Dillon.
foreigners is
Yeah.
all we need around here. Now there's two. We ought to tar and feather the both of them and send them on their way.
Doc, you and Chester wait here.
Tar and feathers is too good for foreigners that are trying to take over the town. You're right.
Tallman, how drunk are you?
I ain't at all.
You talk like a man that's been drinking.
Ain't a man allowed to say what he thinks around Dodge no more, Marshal?
Not when he's thinking that way, Tallman.
This is between Woolhater and me. Has nothing to do with the law.
It's got a lot to do with me, Tallman. Now you drink up and get out. And you take Spooner and Willie here with you.
Just a minute.
Now you listen to me. All of you. Woolhater's trying to mind his own business. And if there's any trouble, I'll know who started it. And he'll go to jail.
You saying you're gonna lock me up?
Tallman, if Emil Woolhater ever gets mad enough, he'll kill you with his bare hands. Now leave him and his girl alone.
Girl. Why, she's probably nothing but a little...
All right, Tallman. You and Spooner carry Willie out of here.
Okay, Marshal. We'll go. Just remember, I got a score to settle with that blacksmith.
We will return for the second act of Gunsmoke in just a moment. But first,
Later tonight, CBS Radio's Gangbusters again recreates a dramatic, spine-tingling, factual history of the pursuit and apprehension of some of the world's most dangerous criminals. Tonight's program reveals the story of a strange stick-up gang which comes to no good end in the case of the close-knit family. It's another story based on actual police files, telling the truth about criminals and crime. Don't miss the case of the close-knit family on Gangbusters over most of these same stations later tonight.
Now the second act of Gunsmoke.
By the end of the next week, Emil Woolhader had finished fixing up the little room out behind his smithy, and the week after that, he married Gretchen Schiller. On their wedding night, they made quite a picture, standing there by the fire out behind the smithy. The great giant of a man and his tiny little bride, smiling and happy. Doc had come along, too, and he was busy with his fiddle. People were laughing and eating and drinking. Somebody had brought along a barrel of beer, and there were hard-boiled eggs and pickled pig feet, roast chicken, and smoked beef. Some of the women had brought sugar cakes and dried apple pie, and some of the men, whiskey. It was good fun, until Tallman and his sidekicks arrived.
Well, I didn't think he'd show up here, Mr. Dillon.
No, neither did I.
Where's the dancing?
He's kind of drunk.
Yeah, so are Willie and Spooner.
Willie, go find yourself a gal. You too, Spooner. Me, I got one waiting. I'm gonna dance with this little old gal. How about it, Mrs. Woolhader?
Emil?
Come on, gal, dance. He don't care.
Emil?
We are all friends here. But
Nobody's dancing right now, Tallman. Why don't you forget it, huh?
Well, if it ain't the marshal.
You are welcome here, Mr. Tallman. There's food on the table and drink.
I don't want nothing to drink. I want to dance. Doc, start that fiddle playing. Come on, you. We're gonna dance.
Maybe you drink too much to dance.
Don't you lay a hand on me.
Why don't you just go home, Tallman, and sleep it off?
Me and Gretchen's gonna dance, that's why. Come on.
I'm sorry to do this, Mr. Tallman. Put me down. But now we put you in the watercloset.
Put me down.
Cool you off.
You stupid ox. Put me down.
All right. There you go.
Well, that'll quiet him some, Emil.
Better than hurting him, I think.
You filthy Dutchman. I'll pay you back for that. Come on, Willie. Spooner, let's go.
Everybody, have fun. No troubles on wedding night of Gretchen and
And there wasn't any more trouble that night, or in the week that followed. I kept my eyes open, but there was no sign of Tallman or his two wranglers, and Dodge was pretty peaceful. Then late one night, trouble did come, but not the way I'd expected it. I'd fallen asleep on a cot in the office.
Mr. Dillon? Mr. Dillon.
What?
Wake up, Mr.
What?
Dillon.
What's the matter? What's the matter?
There's a fire.
What?
It's the blacksmith shop. I come as quick as I could.
Well, is it bad,
Yes,
Chester?
A bunch of the men are out there now.
Where's Emil?
I don't know. Nobody's seen him.
How about Gretchen?
Miss Kitty's with her. She's pretty upset.
Oh.
By the time we got bucket lines going, the place just about burned to the ground.
Well, how did it start, do you know?
No, sir, I don't. But a shack like that flares up pretty quick. They didn't have time to get anything out, beds or tables or the like.
Well, there doesn't seem to be much left but a pile of coal.
No, sir, there ain't. Oh, there's Miss Kitty. Over there. And Gretchen.
Yeah.
Oh, Matt.
Ms. Woolhader. Kitty.
Oh, Marshal. He's gone, all gone. And Emil worked so hard.
Now, it's going to be all right, Miss Woolhader. Kitty, why don't you take her on over to your place, huh?
Oh, that's a good idea. Come on, honey.
Oh, no, I can't. Emil will be back. He'll worry.
Well, the marshal can tell him where you are.
Where is your husband, Gretchen?
He was called away
Oh? When?
a few hours ago. A man came for him, said he was needed.
Well, who was it?
He was one of the men who came our wedding night.
Oh, she means the night of the chivalry, Matt.
Yeah. It must have been Willie or Spooner.
Yeah, that's right.
Gretchen! Gretchen, Liebchen, bist du verletzt?
Oh, Emil, der Gott. Ich war so dummstimmig.
Emil,
Gretchen,
it burned too fast. The men couldn't get water to it.
Yeah, I know, Marshal. I've heard, but Gretchen is safe.
Yeah.
That is important.
I'm going to take her with me, Mr. Woolader.
You're very kind, Miss Kitty. Right now, she needs a woman.
Yeah. Come on, Gretchen. Let's go.
Ja, oder.
Marshal, I think somebody set that fire.
Oh, why do you think so, Emil?
Somebody wanted me away from my place. So he told me I was needed down the trail toward Willow Bend. But there was no team of horses with thrown shoes.
Well, maybe you just missed him in the dark.
Well, didn't the man who came for you wait to lead you back?
No, he rode on. By the time I dressed, he was gone.
Did you know him, Emil?
Yeah. It was the man Spooner. He works with Tallman.
Now, he works for Tallman.
Yeah, and Tallman's just mean enough to do it.
He is.
Look, Emil, if you'll say that Tallman did it, I'll have him in jail by morning.
No, Marshal. No, this I settle myself.
I won't have any killing, Emil.
No. There will be no killing, Marshal, but for the first time, I am getting very angry. Not so much for me, but for little Gretchen.
Oh, what are you going to do?
I will wait. And when I see Tallman, I will teach him lesson.
You want more coffee, Mr. Dillon?
No, thanks, Chester.
Did you know Emil Woolhader's been just standing across the plaza there all morning?
He's waiting, Chester.
Waiting?
Yeah, it's Saturday, and Tallman always comes to town Saturday for his week's supplies. He probably figures if he didn't come in this morning, people would suspect he was afraid to.
Yep. By golly, Emil's still there. Just standing. You think Tallman knows Emil's after him?
I don't know, Chester.
Mr. Dillon?
Yeah?
He's coming. Tallman's coming. And he's got Willie Sachs and Spooner with him.
Come on, Chester, let's step out onto the porch, huh? I think we need a little air.
Yes, sir. Hey, look at the three of them. Walking right down the middle of the plaza.
Yeah. Oh, Tallman, come over here a minute, huh?
Why, sure, Marshal. What do you want? Tallman? That crazy Dutch.
All right, Tallman, you and your men drop your guns.
Well, now, wait a minute, Marshal.
Drop them, I said. That's better. Now, gentlemen, I think the blacksmith wants to talk with you.
What?
Mr. Tallman, I don't mind when you don't pay me for work. I don't mind when you are a little drunk. But when you do something to upset my wife, I mind very much.
What are you talking about?
I'm going to fight you, Tallman, and hurt you.
You lay a hand on me and Spooner and Willie here will tear you to pieces.
I don't want to fight other men, but if they try to stop me, it's too bad.
You are crazy.
No, just very mad.
I'll see that they come at you only one at a time, Emil.
Please, Marshal, you stay out of it, out. If they want to come at me at the same time, let them.
Boys, get the Dutchman.
Tallman.
Now, wait, Woolhader, wait.
Tallman.
All right, Emil, that's enough. Emil.
Emil, stop it. Stop it.
Yeah.
Chester, run up and get the doctor.
I'm right here, Matt. I saw the whole thing. Oh, my, what a beautiful fight. What a beautiful thing.
All right, some of you men there, will you help Doc carry these three men up to his
That's
place?
right, young fella. Get the feet there. Get careful now, careful. Watch their heads against the stairs. Get that man's face out of the dust.
My gracious alive, I never seen nothing like it.
Yeah. Well, Emil?
Yeah?
You want Doc to have a look at you?
No worse than shoeing Missouri mule. No, Marshal. I go to Gretchen. It is time we start building new home.
Gunsmoke, transcribed under the direction of Norman MacDonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Tonight's story was specially written for Gunsmoke by Mr. MacDonald, with music composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Featured in the cast were John Dehner, Gene Bates, Vic Perrin, and Luke Krugman. Harley Bear as Chester, Howard McNear as Doc, and Georgia Ellis as Kitty. George Walsh speaking. Join us again next week as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal, fights to bring law and order out of the wild violence of the West in Gunsmoke.
When rustlers are on the loose, Gene Autry isn't long getting on their trail tomorrow night on most of these same CBS stations. Don't miss Gene's adventure titled Maisie's Boys, and a hard lot you'll find them, too. It's the Gene Autry Show with songs by the Melody Ranchers and Adventure 2 tomorrow night at the Star's address. Stay tuned now for Gangbusters, which follows immediately over most of these same stations. This is the CBS Radio Network.
Promotional announcements for Gangbusters in there, and Gene Autry. Two different types of westerns, don't you know? Gunsmoke, 71 years ago today, June 5th, 1954, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. As I said, tomorrow, Red Skelton, The Passing Parade, Fibber and Molly, Columbia Presents Corwin, Ginny Sims, H.V. Kaltenborn, and Bob Hope, all in tomorrow's Classic Radio Theater podcast. On Saturday, we'll look at shows from the next day. We'll hear Orson Welles' Almanac, Arch Obler's plays, and we'll hear soap operas, The Guiding Light, Ma Perkins, Pepper Young's Family, Mary Noble, Backstage Wife, and Vic and Say. That's all coming up on Saturday's Classic Radio Theater. Tomorrow, of course, the D-Day shows themselves, and then D-Day Plus One. We'll get back to comedy on Sunday with episodes of The Fred Allen Show, The Judy Canova Show, Fred Allen from 1938, Judy Canova from 1946, as Judy gets ready to go on a quiz show. The Life of Riley from 1946, bread shortages. And there, believe it or not, after World War II, not only did Europe have shortages, we had shortages. Let's see. On Monday, more comedies. Amos and Andy from 1944. The Great Gildersleeve from 1946. And the Gildersleeve show did go off for the summer. So they did a 4th of July picnic flashback on Monday's show, even though we're 3 weeks away from the 4th of July, right? Eddie Cantor Show from 1943 and Ozzie and Harriet from 1950. Then on Tuesday, we will get back to Western shows. The Devil and Daniel Webster from 1948 from the Hallmark Playhouse. Fort Laramie from 1956, The Young Trooper. Jimmy Stewart as the six-shooter from 1954, The New Sheriff. And The Traveling Man, an episode of the FBI in Peace and War from 1953. We'll get to crime on Wednesday with Bob Bailey and Let George Do It from 1951, The Sucker Stunt. Boston Blackie starring Dick Calmer from 1947. Calling All Cars from 1935, The Case of the Hot Bonds. And Dana Andrews, I Was a Communist for the FBI from 1952. And then we'll have kind of westerns and crime on Thursday of next week with an episode of Gunsmoke from 54, The Cover-Up, Have Gun Will Travel, The Search for Wiley from 1960, and Van Heflin in a summer replacement show for Bob Hope as Philip Marlowe from 1947, and also from 1947, The Crime Club, Death is a Knockout. So that's all coming up here in the next few days on Classic Radio Theater with Wyeth Cox. When we continue in a moment, the story of Frontier Town with the changing leads on the show.
At this time of the year, we spend a lot of time out of doors, hiking and camping and on picnic trips in the woods and the mountains. That means more danger of forest fires. This summer, thousands of acres of valuable timberland will be destroyed because of carelessness. And in these days of defense emergency, our natural resources are more vital than ever. It's up to you to be sure that you do not cause the tragedy, the shameful waste brought about by a forest fire. Just follow a few simple rules. Crush out cigarettes, cigar, and pipe ashes. Break matches in two after using them. Drown all campfires, then stir and drown them again. Find out the law before using any kind of fire. Forest fires destroy timber, wildlife, and the water supply. They destroy the natural resources on which our nation depends. So don't be careless for a moment when you're in the mountains or woodlands. Forest fires are our most shameful waste. So remember, only you can prevent forest fires.
So Frontier Town's one of those odd shows. Of course, Bruce Ellis Productions producing the show. And the episodes we had were what was aired in 1953, but sources say the show aired as early as 1949 from these same sets of discs. Chad Remington, the crime-fighting attorney, and the quest to bring him back to town. And this is something that happened with most of Bruce Ellis' shows. While Wild Bill Elliott was originally supposed to be the star, it turned out to end up being Jeff Chandler, who was billed as Tex Chandler. And why, we don't know. In 1949, perhaps it would have made sense to call him that. And so that's probably why we have him on these. But halfway through the show's run, Reed Hadley took over as Chad Remington. And Bruce Ellis did this in a couple of other shows as well, where he had one person do the first half of the shows and somebody else doing the other. I don't know. There are all sorts of things that could be said as to why, but it's something to me that's very, very odd. Why would you change horses in the middle of the stream? But, that was radio. That was then, this is now. And what is now is Reed Hadley, starring as Chad Remington in Frontier Town, 72 years ago today, June 5th, 1953.
Frontier Town, the saga of the Roaring West. Frontier Town. El Paso, Cheyenne, Calgary, Tombstone. Frontier Town. Here is the adventurous story of the early West, the tamed and the untamed, from the Pecos to Powder River, Dodge City to Poker Flat. These are the towns they fought to live in and lived to fight for. Teeming crucibles of pioneer freedom. Frontier Town!
I've been wondering how many of you folks know what it's like in a frontier town. I know because I live in a frontier town. I'm a frontier lawyer by the name of Chad Remington. And Dos Rios, my hometown, isn't any worse than most frontier towns, and it certainly isn't any better. Now, laws or not, out on the frontier we've got some folks who make their own laws. Laws they can often make stick with a blast from a 6-gun. And once they start doing that, well, suppose instead of talking generalities, I get down to brass tacks and tell you about one such fellow citizen who became a client of mine for about the shortest time on record. It was a blustery, cold afternoon, just a few weeks ago, when to pass the time between clients and trouble, I was playing Canfield with the ex-medicine man Cherokee O'Bannon in my office directly above Cherokee's livery stable.
Now, see here, Chad. Not only are you making me out a disgrace to my former profession, but if you win any more games, I won't even be able to buy a cap off a beer bottle, let alone buy a pint of something soothing from the lime waters of Kentucky.
Now, Cherokee, if I thought that any water, lime or otherwise, meant anything to you, I might let you win one game. But in your lifetime, you've already had so much bourbon, rye, and just plain corn liquor that I really can't feel that... Hello. Sounds like someone coming up the staircase.
That's probably a client. So let's just call this game off, and I'll take my money and go out and leave you alone.
Oh, no, you don't. You're not going to take that money over to the nearest saloon and get you... Come in.
Howdy, Chad. Howdy, Cherokee.
Well, Floyd Hunsacker, what brings you to a barrister's office?
Chad, I never been to a lawyer's. Well, maybe I'm seeing the wrong man now. But me and one of my neighbors are having trouble. And, well, in this case, I want to stop it before it gets any worse.
Well, if I can be of any help...
I don't know if you can or not. But for old man Barton's sake, I hope you can.
Barton? Why, we heard here in town that you and Paula Barton were tottering on the brink of matrimony.
That's why I want some help before this goes any further. Because if anything came between Paula and me... There ain't nothing coming between Paula and me. That goes for old man, too.
What sort of trouble have you and Barton been having, Floyd?
Maverick trouble. You know our two spreads run together up just under Twin Knobs. After the early snow and weather we've had, cattle's been wandering every which way.
You mean that he's accusing you of accidentally getting some of his steers mixed up with your own?
Accidentally nothing. He come out and accused me of being a low-down, dirty rustler, and right in front of Paula. He wound up telling her that she dassn't see me again.
Well, what about the cattle?
Well, they were mavericks, Chad. Every last one of them. Wasn't a head of them that had a brand mark at all.
Well, if you'll pardon my intrusion, for the life of me, I don't see what good a lawyer can do.
Well, I'm hoping a lot of good. Because after he blew up, Barton had his boys drive 14 head of my stock back onto his place.
Stock marked with your brand?
Some of it. And by Jasper, Chad, I'm telling you, if there ain't some legal way of getting back that stock, I've got ways of my own of doing it. If Barton weren't Paula's father, I'd have drilled him right there this morning.
I'm glad you didn't, Floyd. Because once a man pulls trigger in anger, he generally ends up pulling it again and again to defend himself from the law.
Well, I didn't, so that's that. Now, what do you think I ought to do?
Well, the first thing you ought to do is wait until Barton has a chance to cool down. Now, I've known the old man for years. He's got a temper like a summer squall, blows up without warning and subsides just as fast.
Yeah.
Then, 3 or 4 days from now, go over to Barton's place after he's calmed down and talk it over with him. Now, Barton's lost cattle before, and...
Me go over? Well, that's why I came into town. That's what I wanted you to do.
Sure, I could charge you $50 and go out to see Barton. But instead of helping you, I'd only be making it worse.
Worse? How do you figure that? Wouldn't it show the old moss back I was trying to be fair about it?
Just the opposite, Floyd. If you sent a lawyer out to see Barton, it would only make it appear that you were really out to make trouble for him.
Chad, you're right. I've had lawyers come after me trying to collect bills in my life. Instead of making me pay the bills, it only succeeded in making me so recalcitrant that I resorted to every piece of chicanery I knew to avoid payment.
Now, believe me, Floyd, even though my advice in this case is free, it's well worth taking. And if you really love Paula as much as you say you do,
Yeah. Yeah. And if she loves me, She ought to talk to her old man.
I'm sure Paula can and will help. But the important thing is not to force the issue while it's still white hot. Give him a chance to cool off, to calm down.
Certainly, my boy. Wait 4 or 5 days, even a week.
Not see Paula for a week? That's great advice. Thanks, Remington. You've been a fine lot of help, I must say.
Counselor, if you ask me, which I know you didn't, that young sprat is so fouled up inside of him, he's heading for a fall.
Yeah, I'm afraid you're right, Cherokee. In the mood Floyd's in, he is heading for a fall. And it wouldn't surprise me any if it's a fall through a scaffold at the end of a hangman's noose. It wasn't that I'm such a great guesser or unusual at reading character. But from the little I knew of Floyd and from the pale, almost yellow light in his eyes, it wasn't too difficult to read the fury burning in him. Well, despite our good intentions and our good advice, Floyd paced the floor in his little ranch house parlor until 9 that night, when he couldn't stand it any longer. Slamming his Stetson on his head, he grabbed his pony and rode over to the Barton place, where, by tapping lightly on Paula's bedroom window, he attracted her attention and got her to come outside.
Floyd, you shouldn't. You shouldn't have come over.
I couldn't stand it any longer, Paula. It was driving me crazy. I had to see you.
I know, Floyd. I wanted to see you, too, but after what happened this morning, if Father ever finds you here, I don't know.
Let him find me. I don't care. I love you and you love me. Not even your father's coming between us.
Oh, he won't come between us, Floyd. Just give him a chance to get over his temper. He never stays mad long.
Hey, look, I got an idea. We can ride over to Navajo Springs tonight. There's a padre in Navajo Springs. He'll marry us. And after we're married, there isn't a thing in the world your father
Floyd, I think I heard the door open. Quick, get back in the shadow of the...
Paula! Paula! Are you here? Outside? Paula! You hear me?
Yes, I'm here, Dad.
Well, I thought you said goodnight an hour ago and then went to... Well, so you're here, too.
Yeah, I'm here. And you and no one else can stop me from seeing Paula.
Floyd!
Paula, go inside. There are a few things I'm going to settle with this young Lobo right now.
You stay right where you are, Paula. Your father's looking to have a showdown. You might just
Paula,
as well...
I said go inside.
Dad, won't you listen to Floyd? Won't you give him a chance to...
Never thought I'd have to raise my hand to my own daughter, but...
Wait, you slap Paula, will you?
Floyd, he's trying to draw his gun. Dad, don't!
Try to throw down on me, will you? Will...
Floyd, what have you done?
Your father. You saw him. It was him who went for his gun.
Dad. Daddy, all right?
Get the doctor. Paula. Get the...
Paula.
Now get out. Did you hear me? I said get out. I never want to see you again.
But, Paula...
Get out! Get out! Get out!
After that, there wasn't much that I could do. But when I heard of the shooting, I knew that now Floyd would be needing a lawyer. So Cherokee and I saddled up and rode out to Floyd's ranch.
Don't you understand, fellas? There ain't nothing that means a thing to me without Paula.
Well, she certainly isn't going to feel any more kindly toward you for shooting her father.
Well, where there's life, there's hope. And when we left town, Barton was still alive.
If Paula'd only see me, just send some word.
Oh, I can understand you're getting upset, Floyd. But I do believe that even if Barton dies, there isn't a jury in the world that would convict you if, as you say, he...
Jury? You mean they're going to lock me up?
I was just using that as a figure of speech. I meant that with Barton drawing first, no one, not even Paula, can blame you.
Well, they'd better not try to lock me up. No one's gonna lock me up someplace where I'll never see Paula again.
Man alive, no one's going to lock you up unless Barton dies. And then it'll only be as a matter of form.
Now, this is again free advice, Floyd. But I hope you take my advice this time.
Yeah?
Now, the thing to do is...
Wait a minute. Who's that riding up? Looks like the sheriff and a posse.
The sheriff and a... And I guess old man Barton died.
Yeah? Looks like it, doesn't it?
Now, look, Floyd, just don't make any trouble. Now, you may have shot Barton, but you did it in self-defense. The sheriff has his job to do, and he'll have to hold you until you can have a hearing. So take it easy now and keep a check rein on your temper.
Yeah, sure.
Now, it's all right, Floyd. I'll let the sheriff in. Hello, Sheriff. Come on in.
Howdy, Chad. Thanks. And I guess you know why I'm here, Floyd.
He died, Sheriff?
Yeah. I gotta take you in.
Sure. I understand. Arresting me, I guess you want my gun, don't you?
I'd be much obliged if you'd hand it over.
Sure. I don't need it. Yeah. Because you need it more than I do, you interferer.
You low-code young fool, you killed the sheriff. Now you are in for it.
Either one of you moves one step and you'll be on the floor right beside him.
I don't doubt that, Floyd.
You don't,
But you've overlooked one thing. There's a posse outside, and here they come.
What? The posse's coming?
Cherokee, quick, grab his arm.
If I ever get my arm loose, I'm gonna...
That's it, Chad. He's a sucker for a laugh.
Thanks, Cherokee. I'll try one again. All right. Keep him covered, Cherokee, until one of the deputies gets the cuffs on him. With a locoed snake like that, you're never safe while they've got the breath of life left in them. And in his case, I don't think that will be too long.
We'll return to the second act of On the Prod, our exciting frontier town adventure, in just a few moments. And now, Frontier Town.
Maybe I didn't say it before, and if I did, I still think I'd better say it again. That's what happens out on the frontier mighty often after a man has carved the first notch on his gun. Floyd's case was no exception. Remember Billy the Kid? As I've heard folks tell the story, it was the same thing with him. He was forced to stab a man in a ruckus over a gambling game. And then, trying to avoid the consequences, shot his way across 67 counties in 5 states until killing became the natural way of life. Well, we did manage to get Floyd down to town and locked into one of the cells behind the sheriff's office. The judge, a good and close friend of mine, wasted no time coming over to the office to find out from me exactly what had happened.
By glory, if I weren't a judge, Chad, I'm afraid I'd be out organizing a necktie party right now.
Even you shouldn't say a thing like that, Judge. Mob law is as bad as gun law.
And furthermore, I've got a feeling that Floyd isn't just out and out bad. He's kill crazy.
He's crazy, all right.
When Floyd comes to trial, if he ever does, he'll probably be arraigned before you, Judge.
I most certainly hope so.
Now, I don't want to interfere or influence you officially, but if we could discuss this, well, just like a couple of friends, I think we might all profit from it.
Well, I've got a mind of my own, Chad. So I won't be influenced listening.
Well, believe me, I'm not holding out any hope or excusing Floyd. But after seeing him, looking into those frenzied eyes, I've got a feeling that Floyd is all haywire inside.
You mean he's a lunatic?
In a way, yes. And if he is deranged, the place for him is a mental institution.
Well, you know the law as well as I do, Chad. And that's a hard thing to prove.
But certainly you wouldn't want to commit a man to the gallows when he should be committed to the state hospital, would you?
No, of course not. But there's...
Well, if he is loco, Chad, you could find that out only by talking to him. I'm mighty dubious that anybody could quiet him down enough to where any talking would make any sense.
Well, what about Paula? Since she seems to be the basis of his trouble, I've got an idea that if Paula had come down here, she could make him realize we're not fighting him, we're fighting for him.
It's a good idea, Chad, but I'm afraid it's too late. Look across the street. There's a mob forming already.
Chad, Cherokee's right. Do you see them? They're pointing over here.
What are we going to do? With the sheriff dead, we don't stand much of a chance.
Judge, I think it's up to you to go over and talk to that mob. Cherokee can stay here and watch the jail while I go out the back door, hit my horse, and ride to the Barton Ranch. If I can get Paula to come back here with me, we'll find out in short order if Floyd's insane or not.
I've seen mobs before, Chad, and I've yet to see one that would try a jailbreak during daylight. However, I think if you can get Paula in here, you may have found the solution.
Right.
As soon as you're safely out of town, I'll go over and talk to that mob and do what I can. Because if I can stall them even for an hour, it may save one man's life.
With the mob gathered in the street in front of the jail, I had no difficulty slipping out the back way, getting my horse and heading for the open range. But while I was just starting to churn up dust, down in the jail itself, Floyd began to hear the unmistakable, ominous mutterings of the lynch mob.
What's the matter with them out there? Can't they hear that mob? They all loco? Let them come over here. They're not gonna take me. They sure aren't.
Hey, you. You out front. Hey, what's the matter with you? All deep? Where's that smart lawyer, Chad? Hey, Chad Remington.
What is it? What's going on down there?
I'm glad someone can hear. Hey, come here a minute, will you, Cherokee? Come on, Cherokee. I just got an idea.
What is it, Floyd? Something I could do for you?
Yeah.
It sure is. You heard that mob across the street?
Not only have I heard them, but I've seen them.
Well, you know what they're up to, don't you? After me. I'm telling you something, Cherokee. I'm not sitting in this cell and letting them come and take me like a coyote out of a dead fool.
Floyd, for goodness sakes, take it easy. Chad says he thinks everything's going to be all right.
Oh, Chad says. Chad says everything, doesn't he?
You want to be ashamed of yourself talking about Chad that way? He's trying to help you.
If he's trying to help me, why'd he drag me down here to the jail? Why's he letting that mob form across the street?
You take care of that mob when he gets back.
Gets back? Back from where?
He sneaked through the back door and rode out to see Paula, so that
he went where? What's he going out to Paula's for?
Billy Blue Blazes, Floyd, if you'd only stop talking and listen for a moment.
Sure, Cherokee. You know how it is. I'm just jumpy, I guess. This gives me an idea. A good idea.
Yes?
Oh, I don't know who might be around. I don't want anybody else to hear. Grab me, will you? Come a little closer.
All right, Floyd. What is it?
Now, here. I get my arm through these bars and I'll...
Floyd! For pity's sake, let go of my throat!
I'm not letting go of you till I get your gun.
Don't!
I'm gonna get your gun. There we are. Now get up from there and open this cell.
I haven't got the keys.
Don't get them, admit. You haven't got the keys, eh? What's that hanging out of your hip pocket? All right, get up and get this cell open. Got some business to take care of. Some mighty personal business. And I'm taking care of it right now.
Knowing of the lynch mob in town lent wings to my horse's hoofs, and it didn't take me too long to get to the Barton Ranch, Find Paula and start trying to make her understand what the judge and I had in mind.
Chad, you don't know what you're asking.
But I do, Paula. I'm asking that you help save a man's life. A very sick man's life.
But, Chad, I can't go down there and see Floyd and let him think I still care for him. That's not fair either.
Well, I guess it's a question of which is the less...
All right, Remington. Reach before I drill you from here.
Floyd, what are you doing outside that window?
Just getting ready to come in. Like this. That's it, Remington. Just you keep right on reaching.
I know there's no use asking you how you got out of jail. But I would like to know what you're doing out here.
Yeah? Well, I'll tell you. I'm out here for two things. The first is to have Paula pack her suitcase and get ready to leave with me. We're going out to the coast and get married.
Floyd, you must be...
Don't you dare say that. Don't you ever tell me I'm crazy. As soon as we've taken care of your boyfriend here, I'm going with you and help you get your suitcase packed.
You're taking care of me, Floyd?
Yeah, you bet I am. If it wasn't for you, I never would have been in jail. Too bad, Remington. You had such a nice reputation.
Well, don't let it ever be said that I held up your wedding. Shall I just back up there against the wall and let's get it over with?
Yeah. Yeah. Just like they do in plays. Go on, Remington. Back up. Nice and slow. Because I don't like any fast moves.
Is this what you mean, Floyd? Back up as far as the chair and...
That was beautiful. You knocked him down with the chair.
Paula, look out. He's reaching for his gun. Why, that murdering hyena.
Remington! I'm gonna kill you just the way I said I would!
Chad, are you all right? You're bleeding.
He didn't do me any good, but... You're tougher than I thought, Floyd.
Just tough enough to blow you up.
Chad, be careful. He's backing you toward him.
He's backing himself toward his grave. Floyd, you're a tough nut. Have you had enough?
No, I haven't, Remington. I told you I was gonna kill you, and
You're softening up now, Floyd, and here goes. All right. You'd better pick up his gun, Paula. And after that, I'm handcuffing him and taking him over to the state capitol. This young man's going to stay locked up for the rest of his demented life.
Chad, I just can't get over your narrow escape.
That lunatic, that madman. Look at Cherokee's throat.
I know. It makes me just sick.
Believe me, I'm sick all over.
As an old expert on materia medica, Chad, I found a dead certain remedy for a squeamy stomach, known in the Latin as spiritus fermenti, or alcohol. That is in a palatable form, of course.
Now, if you're trying to work me for a drink, nothing doing.
You're right, Chad.
Just one little snifter of rye?
Nope.
Not even a few drops of gin, perhaps?
Nothing.
Not even a glass of beer?
Well, maybe a glass of beer. In fact, I may even have a glass of beer myself.
You? Beer? Well, how come, Counselor?
Well, after the way you let Floyd bamboozle you and escape from jail, I figure it might help my reputation to be seen with something with a head on it.
Frontier Town, starring Reed Hadley and featuring Wade Crosby, is a Bruce Ells production. Story and direction by Paul Franklin. Music written and played by Ivan Ditmars. Be sure to be with us again same time next week for another fine action-adventure story with your favorite young Western star, Reed Hadley. And now this is Bill Foreman telling you that Frontier Town comes to you from Hollywood.
By the way, Reed Crosby in the first set of shows didn't get any billing in any of the shows. So for him to get billing for his W.C. Fields-like character of Cherokee, I must have gotten very popular during the day. All righty, 72 years ago, June 5th, 1953, Frontier Town, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We head to the frozen north for the challenge of the Yukon next.
Did you know that you help to perform miracles? Human life itself is a miracle. Through the blood you donate and the money you give through your Red Cross, you help to preserve life. And now scientists and physicians have discovered another miracle you have a part in. Blood processed into gamma globulin for use in the prevention of paralysis and polio. To collect the blood, process it into gamma globulin for the protection of our children against the dread disease will take a lot of money. In addition, the Red Cross must continue to collect whole blood for civilian hospitals which it serves, for the Korean wounded, and for the building of a safe plasma reserve for national defense, both military and civilian. Blood gives life. Money packs and sends it. When you give through the 1953 Red Cross Fund appeal, you're helping to give life. You're helping keeping the blood bottles filled and delivered. Give and give generously. Answer the call.
Give the gift of life. Give blood if you can. A number of people can't. I'm one of those who can't because a number of the medications that I take interfere with the method, interfere with the donation. But I would strongly encourage you, if you can do it, save a life. Give the gift of life. Let's head far north to the challenge of the Yukon from 76 years ago today, June 5th, 1949.
Now, as gunshots echo across the wind-swept, snow-covered reaches of the wild Northwest, Quaker puffed wheat and Quaker puffed rice, the breakfast cereal shot from guns, present the challenge of the Yukon. It's Yukon King, swiftest and strongest lead dog of the Northwest, blazing the trail for Sergeant Preston of the Northwest Mounted Police in his relentless pursuit of lawbreakers. On King! On! Gold discovered in the Yukon, a stampede to the Klondike and the wild race for riches. Back to the days of the gold rush, with Quaker puffed wheat and Quaker puffed rice, bringing you the adventures of Sergeant Preston and his wonder dog Yukon King as they meet the challenge of the Yukon.
Here's the breakfast I really go for.
He's enjoying his Quaker puffed wheat. Looks good, too.
It is good.
I'll say it is. And so is Quaker puffed rice. These giant ready-to-serve grains of wheat or rice are premium grains. They're shot from guns, puffed to perfection, exploded up to 8 times normal size to make them crisp and tender. Wheat or rice shot from guns is good for you, too. Makes a thrifty deluxe family breakfast with milk or cream and fruit. Tomorrow, sure, try this breakfast treat.
Quaker puffed rice or Quaker puffed wheat.
Ma Gradland had run the trading post at Barton Pass ever since her husband's death, and every trapper in the district respected her courage and honesty. She had one son, Clem, who was 19 when the big strike on the Bonanza was made, and the stories that drifted down from the Klondike made him eager to try his luck at prospecting. Ma tried to discourage him.
Son, there's something about prospecting that's like gambling or drink. Once it gets into your blood, you can't get it out, and you're no good for anything else. You always figure that next day, or maybe the day after, you'll be lucky.
Well, it's possible. Gold is where you find it.
It'd be the unluckiest day of your life if you ever did find it, Clem. For you wouldn't be satisfied. You'd want more and more, and you'd end up by not having any. Clem, this post will be yours after I'm gone, and you can make good money here, enough for anybody.
Ma, wouldn't you like to live in a big house in San Francisco and have servants to wait on you and wear silks and satins?
Now, wouldn't that be a sight to make you bust out laughing? Ma Grantland wearing silks and satins. I'm a sourdough, son, and I'm proud of it. I love this country.
Even when it's 40 below?
Why, what's a little cold? Cold can't hurt you.
Well, maybe you like it, but I don't.
Never thought a son would go soft.
Oh, now, you know better than that. Well, gosh, Ma. You and me and Frank and his wife and the Indians, we don't see anybody for weeks at a time. I'm young. I want some excitement.
Oh, so that's it. You just want to go to Dawson and have a good time.
No. I don't see why you won't give me a chance, Ma. You don't really need me here. Frank can handle all the heavy work.
Now, I gave you my answer once, and nothing you say can change it.
You couldn't stop me very well if I made up my mind.
No, maybe not. You're only 19, but you're bigger than most men. I guess you got a right to decide things for yourself. The only thing is, son, it'd be sort of foolish to start out for Dawson without a grub stake. And you won't get a cent from me. So don't bother me any more with your pesky talk.
Hey, listen. Dogs.
Yes. Wonder who it can be.
I'll take a look.
Who is it, Clem?
Couple of travelers. I never saw them before. Hiya!
Whoa! Hello there, youngster. I got some furs to sell.
Well, bring them in. Hey, Frank.
Yeah?
Unharness this team. Feed the dogs.
Okay.
Trappers, huh? Can't be from around here.
Howdy, ma'am. You Mark Dillon?
Yep, that's me.
My name's Smith, and this is my partner, Lefty. That is Ben Jones. We got some nice pelts for you.
Just put 'em on the counter there. I'll look 'em over and pay you what they're worth. Nobody ever gets cheated at Barton Pass.
Well, that's what we heard, ma'am.
Where are you from?
Down south, Lake Kusaya.
Come a long ways to sell your furs.
We're heading for the Klondike.
Honest?
Oh, you Mrs. Grantland's son?
Yeah, my name's Clem. I sure wish I could go up there and take a turn at prospecting.
What's stopping you?
Ma is.
These look like Moose River foxes to me.
We trapped them down south. They come from Lake Kusaya, ma'am.
Well, I'll give you $6 apiece for the blacks and $4 for the silvers.
Only 4?
Sure, they have to dye 'em before they can be used.
Okay. What's it come to?
I'll figure it. Bring me the cash box, Clem.
You just tell me how much you want, and I'll bring you the money.
Land's sakes, can't you do anything but argue today? Bring me the box.
But, Ma...
What's the matter, Clem? Don't you trust us? Sure he does. Why shouldn't he?
Hurry up, Clem.
Oh, all right.
That's a funny kid you got there, ma'am.
There's nothing wrong with Clem, except that he's got his head full of ideas about finding gold. Thank you, men, if you don't talk about the Klondike to him. Let's see now. 144 and 24. That's $168 altogether. Well, I suppose suppose you'll want to put up here for the night.
Oh, no, ma'am. We got to keep moving.
No special reason why we should, Ben.
I didn't say there was.
You've been driving your dogs pretty hard. They look to me like they need a rest.
Right, ma'am.
There's an empty cabin on the other side of the clearing. I'll have Clem light the stove, and you can bunk there for the night.
There you are, Ma.
Thank you, Clem.
Now, look, Lefty, Clem's got a gun.
Any objections?
You better put it away, Sonny.
Take it easy. He don't mean nothing.
Here's your money. Count it to make sure it's all there.
Yeah. Thanks.
Give me the box, Ma.
Don't rush me. I have to close it first, don't I? Now you put it right back in the cupboard where you got it.
Ma.
What's the matter with you, anyway?
Your son seems to think we're suspicious characters, Mrs. Grantlin.
Stuff and nonsense, Clem. These men aren't prospectors yet.
Now, don't start that again.
Don't you? Here, take the box. After you put it back, you better get over to the traveler's cabin and light the stove. Smith and Jones are going to spend the night with us.
Ma, maybe that isn't such a good idea.
Why ever not? You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I don't like to be talked to like a kid, Ma.
Too bad about what you like. Will you move when I ask you to?
Sure. Someday I'll move a long way.
I'll worry about that when the time comes.
It may be sooner than you think.
Smith and Jones had supper with Ma and her son that evening, and the boy continued to carry a gun and watch them every minute. But the evening passed quietly enough, and the men retired to their own cabin about 10 o'clock. At midnight, they were still awake. The man who called himself Smith was lying on one of the bunks. His partner was nervously pacing the floor.
Hey, listen.
Listen to what?
I thought I heard somebody outside.
You're crazy.
Scar, we can't stay here all night.
I never said we would.
Look, maybe they found Joe already. Maybe there's somebody on our trail right now.
I don't think so.
It could be. That redcoat Preston was somewhere around Moose River. Suppose he just dropped in on Joe.
Anything in Joe's cabin to prove that we done it?
We left a trail, didn't we?
Not much of one.
From what I hear about Preston, it wouldn't have to be much of one.
Forget it.
Why can't we get started now? The dog's arrested.
I'm waiting till everybody's asleep.
What for? What difference does that make?
Look, did you get a look at that cash box of the old lady's?
Sure, I saw it.
Did you see how much was in it?
Plenty.
Over $2,000. All we got's 168.
Well?
Well?
You think we can get into the store without waking everybody up?
Sure.
But the old lady and Clem live in the back of it.
If they do wake up, they'll wish they hadn't.
I know more of that stuff.
Leave it to me, Lefty.
Kid's probably standing guard. That gun, the way he kept watching us, he's onto us, Scar.
You know why he got suspicious?
Why?
Those notches on your gun. Don't pay to brag. Now, just take it easy.
All the lights are out over there.
You give him a little more time.
Hey.
Now what?
There's somebody coming out of the store.
Let's see.
It's a kid. What's that he's got under his arm?
Looks like his ma's cash box.
Yeah, it does.
He's coming this way.
What do you suppose?
No, he isn't. He's cutting around the back of the storehouse. That's where the dog run is.
That's right.
Come on. We'll see what he's up to.
By the time the two men reached the back of the storehouse, Clem had his team harnessed.
Where's he going?
Heard what he told his ma. He's heading for the Klondike. That's the old lady's cash box, all right. He's putting it on the sled. Good.
What's good about it?
Mush.
There he goes.
What's so good about his getting away with the cash?
He stole it. He'll get blamed for it. But he won't keep it for long. Come on, we'll harness the team. We're going after him.
5 minutes later, the two men had their supplies loaded and started out after Clem.
Mush, you!
And from the doorway of his cabin beyond the storehouse, Frank Whitaker watched them. He was struggling into his parka, and he ran across the clearing to the store.
Ma, wake up.
The door at the rear of the store opened, and Ma appeared, a blanket wrapped around her shoulders.
Land sakes, Frank, what's the matter with you?
Don't you know? Clem's gone.
Nonsense.
It's true. I saw him leave myself. I was just getting into my clothes to come and tell you when I saw the other two start out. They took the same direction, north. I guess Clem's going to Klondike with him.
I don't believe it. He wouldn't go without saying goodbye.
He has, I tell you.
He couldn't.
Well, why not?
Without supplies?
There's plenty of supplies right here.
Oh, there's none missing.
Well, there's plenty more in the storehouse. It was there I saw him out in the back.
I won't believe it. I just won't. And he certainly wouldn't travel with those two men. Why, you talk as if there was some understanding between them. Why, Clem hardly spoke to him. He glared at him all through supper. He acted as if they were after my cash.
Well, I don't like to say this, but...
You don't like to say what?
Have you looked? Are you sure that...
How could they have stole it? How could they have got in here without being heard?
I'm not talking about Smith and Jones, Ma.
You mean Clem?
Well, he had something under his arm that looked like a strong box.
You ought to have better sense than to accuse him of stealing.
I'm not, but I saw what I saw. Nothing can change that. There's an easy way to make sure, Ma. All you have to do is look in that cupboard where you keep it. If it's okay, all right.
You just won't believe he could do that.
You gonna lock up the cupboard and never open it up again? If you're gonna stick your head in the sand like an ostrich?
No. I'll look, and I'll find the money, too.
Well, what are you waiting for?
Nothing.
Well?
All right. It's gone. What of it? It's as much his money as it is mine. Go on. Get out of here, Frank. And don't you say anything about this to anybody. It's our business. Clem's mine.
But, Ma...
Go on. Get out of here.
Okay. I'm a-going.
Clem. Why did you do it?
We'll continue our story in just a moment.
Everyone loves Quaker puffed wheat and Quaker puffed rice.
The whole family goes for these famous ready-to-serve breakfast cereals.
They're shot from guns.
Yes, Quaker puffed wheat
and Quaker puffed rice
are shot from guns.
Man, oh man, huge guns are loaded with premium grains of wheat or rice. Then...
these choice king-size kernels are actually exploded up to 8 times normal size.
That makes them bigger and better tasting.
Makes Quaker puffed wheat and Quaker puffed rice crisp and tender as nuts in November.
They're shot through and through with bang-up nut-like flavor, too.
And most important, they're nourishing, good for you.
Both delicious kinds furnish added food values of restored natural grain amounts of vitamin B1, niacin, and iron.
So try delicious, nutritious Quaker puffed wheat and Quaker puffed rice. So tasty, so easy to serve, topped with milk or cream and fruit.
Enjoy this thrifty deluxe family breakfast tomorrow.
And remember, for variety, eat Quaker puffed wheat one day, Quaker puffed rice the next.
Remember, too, they're never sold in bags or bulk.
To get the original, crisp, fresh wheat or rice shot from guns, always look for the big red and blue Quaker package.
Look for the smiling Quaker man on the front.
He's your guarantee that you're getting the one and only delicious Quaker puffed rice
and Quaker puffed wheat.
Now to continue our story. It was less than half an hour after Scar and Lefty had driven away from the post that Sergeant Preston reached it. Riding his sled was a young constable new to the Yukon named Ted Forrest. The great dog King ran free in front of the team.
Hello, King. Hello.
We stopping here?
Just long enough to ask a few questions. King wants to go on.
Hey, there's somebody coming out of that cabin.
That's Frank Whittaker. He works for Mrs. Grantland.
Hello there, Sergeant.
Hello, Frank. This is Constable Forrest. He'll be patrolling this district from now on.
Well, hello, Constable.
Hello, Frank.
Good to see you, Sergeant. I only wish you got here half an hour ago.
Why? What happened?
Maybe Miss Grantland wouldn't like me to talk about it, but just the same, I think you ought to know. It's young Clem, Sergeant.
Oh?
He's been wanting to go up the Klondike and try his hand at prospecting. Miss Grantland wouldn't listen to him. Said it was a lot of foolishness, and he belonged right here. Well, they've been arguing for days. But, of course, Miss Grantland always had the last say. Clem would need money for a grub stake, and she wouldn't give him any.
He's run away?
Yeah. You see, there was a couple of trappers drove in the post yesterday afternoon with some furs to sell.
Sergeant.
Go on, Frank.
They come from Lake Kusaya, but they were heading north to look for gold.
They leave right away?
No. They were going to stay the night in the traveler's cabin.
But they've gone?
Yeah. Half an hour ago, I woke up. There were some dogs barking outside. I started to turn over and go to sleep, but Then I thought maybe I'd better take a look.
Yes?
Young Clem's team was standing out back of the store, all harnessed, ready to go. Clem had a box under his arm. He threw it on the sled and drove off. Well, I started to get dressed to go over and tell Miss Grantlin. But just when I get outside the door, I see these two trappers heading north into the forest, the same way Clem had gone.
Then he didn't leave here with them.
He had to get away fast. Do you know what was in that box, Sergeant?
Money?
Yeah. Every cent Miss Grantlin had. She's all broke up about it. Oh, here she comes now.
I thought I told you to keep your mouth shut, Frank Whitaker.
This is Sergeant Preston.
You can see. How are you, Sergeant?
Frank hasn't said anything he shouldn't have, Mrs. Grantlin.
Perhaps not, but the boy's gone, Sergeant, and I don't want him brought back. The money's between him and me. We'll forget about it.
We can't do that.
It's mine.
I want a description of the two men who stopped here yesterday.
They didn't do anything.
You're wrong, Mrs. Grantlin. 2 days ago at Moose River, they murdered Joe Granger. The motive was probably robbery. The floor of the cabin had been torn up. I don't know whether they found any gold or not.
They had some furs. I bought them.
King picked up their trail, and we've been following it for the last 24 hours.
Said the pelts came from Moose River.
What did they look like, the men?
They were both big.
They had black beards.
One of them had a scar down the left side of his face.
Scar Lamont.
He said his name was Smith.
And the other one must have been Lefty Muldoon.
The man with the scar called him Lefty once or twice.
Scar Lamont and Lefty Muldoon. They were both seen near Moose River shortly before the murder.
And Clem started out for the Klondike with them.
Frank says they didn't leave here with Clem. They followed him. We can hope they haven't caught up with him yet.
Oh, Sergeant, please,
Up front, King. Ready, Ted?
Sure. Headed north. Trail goes by that big fir at the edge of the clearing.
King will find it. On King!
King set a fast pace along the forest trail. But 15 minutes after they had left the post, he slowed down and looked around at his master.
What is it, King?
He wants to stop.
Yes. All right, boy. Hold there.
The trail goes straight on.
What is it, King?
King started into the forest. The sergeant and the constable followed him.
Look, Ted. The snow. Somebody's come this way. Man on foot. He's covered up his tracks as best he could, but there's a footprint.
I see. Whose?
No telling. King thinks we ought to investigate. Yes, boy. Go on.
The dog led the way directly to a big stump. It was covered with snow, and King started digging down for it.
Something underneath there, King?
Why, the stump's hollow.
Yes. I'll take a look, boy.
Anything inside?
Feels like a box. It is.
A strong box. Could this be the one that Clem took?
Must be.
Well, then he didn't steal it after all.
I never thought he did.
What?
Clem's a smart boy. Just the appearance of Scar and Lefty would be enough to make him suspicious of them.
But Mrs. Grantlin and Frank weren't.
Mrs. Grantlin trusts everybody. Frank isn't very bright. Clem may have used this stump as a cache before.
If he just brought the box out here to hide it, why didn't he go back to the post?
Must have heard Scar and Lefty coming after him.
So he went on instead of turning back.
King will find out for us. Back to the trail, boy.
Back on the trail, King resumed his place at the head of the team.
On King! On, Huskies!
2 miles farther on, the trail forked, and without any hesitation, King took the branch that swung to the east.
You see, Ted? Clem isn't heading for the Klondike.
He's making a big circle back to the post.
He's trying to. We've got to hurry. On, King!
Miles ahead, Scar and Lefty realized the trail they were following was swinging from the east to the south, and that they were headed back in the same general direction of the post. But they did not stop. They could hear Clem's dogs, and finally, as they rounded a bend, they saw the boy.
Pull up there!
Show me mean business, Lefty. Shoot.
Okay.
You hit him.
The boy fell from the running board of his sled, and the outlaws raced toward him. He tried to struggle to his feet.
Ho, ho, ho!
Don't move, you little fool, or I'll shoot to kill.
Crooks, I knew it.
Go on, Lefty. Get the cash box off his sled.
Right.
So you stole your poor old ma's cash, huh, Clem? Now, that ain't the right way to act.
I never stole anything. You aren't going to get it either, Smith.
For your information, kid, the name is Scar Lamont. And Scar Lamont always gets what he goes after.
Not this time.
Scar, it ain't here. I couldn't find it anywhere on the sled.
What?
I told you.
So you cached it somewhere along the trail.
That's for you to find out.
You gotta make 'em talk.
Look, you ain't in very good condition to argue, Clem. If you don't take care of that shoulder, you're going to die.
You'll never make me tell where the money is.
It's only a couple of $1,000. Don't you figure your life's worth more than that?
He's passing out.
Get a fire started.
We better fix that shoulder.
I'll take care of it. We need a fire. Hurry.
The fire was lit, and the boy's wound was bandaged. At last, he opened his eyes.
Ah, feeling better, Clem?
You still here?
Good thing for you we are. Without this fire, you'd have frozen to death.
I'm not asking you to do anything for me.
Where's that money, Clem?
I won't tell you. It belongs to Ma. She worked hard for it. No dirty crooks like you are going to get it.
Your ma's all alone at the post, outside of Frank and his wife. And they couldn't put up much of a fight. Now, you don't want anything to happen to your ma, do you?
What do you mean?
You know what I mean.
There's a law in this country, Scar. The Northwest Monitor here. The days gone by when you could get away with murder. You wouldn't dare.
Boy, we're wanted for murder right now.
Scar.
What's that?
We mean business. It's the money or your ma's life. Now take your choice. Hurry up, make up your mind.
All right. You win, I guess. I'll show you.
Where?
Not far from the post. I'll have to show you.
Hey, what's that? Wolves?
It's dogs.
It may be Preston.
I sure hope so.
Whoever it is, we'll be waiting for him. Douse that fire.
Right.
But King knew that the men they were following were not far away. And as he neared the bend in the trail, he slackened his pace and growled a warning. That was enough for the sergeant, and he called on the team to halt.
Oh, hello.
What, Sergeant?
We're taking our orders from King, Ted. He thinks we ought to stop. Yes, boy. I thought I noticed a light through the trees a few minutes ago.
A campfire?
Could have been. It's gone now. But there's something ahead on the trail that King doesn't like. We'll leave the team here and take to the woods. Come on, King.
The sergeant, the constable, and King plunged into the forest for 100 feet, and then turned to parallel the trail, a narrow strip of silver in the moonlight. But they would have passed the point where Scar and Lefty were waiting if it hadn't been for King.
Far enough, boy?
King started for the trail. The sergeant took hold of his harness and held him back.
Easy. See anything, Ted?
No men. There are some rocks.
Must be hiding behind them, watching the trail. You better crawl up on them. Throw some snow so we can park it.
Yeah, right.
Let's go.
They crawled forward, foot by foot, with King setting their direction, until finally they could make out the figures of 3 men in the shadow of the rocks.
See them, Ted?
Now I do.
Easy does it.
On they crawled, closer and closer to the trail. As they neared it, the sergeant placed a restraining hand on the young constable's shoulders.
What's the matter? They haven't hurt us?
No. We're looking in the wrong direction. That must be Clem lying on the ground. I don't like to shoot. We might hit him.
We're close enough to make a rush for it, aren't we?
I think so. Should be able to get their guns where they have a chance to fire. Ready?
All set.
Let's go.
The sergeant and the constable rose to their feet and started to run. When they broke from the cover of the trees, they were only a few feet away from Scar and Lefty, who were still looking down the trail. The sergeant leaped on Scar, and the constable went for Lefty. The outlaws' guns were wrenched from their grasp, but they turned and started to fight. Scar was big and tough, and realizing what capture would mean, he fought desperately. There were no rules in Scar's book, and he used every rough and tumble trick he knew. But the sergeant's rapier left kept him off balance. His gun had fallen to the ground, and once he made a break for it, but the sergeant caught him by the shoulder, whirled him around, and drove a right to his jaw. That was the end for Scar. His knees sagged. Another left and a right, and he dropped to the ground. At that moment, Lefty, who was getting the better of the constable, reached for his knife. The metal flashed in the moonlight. But King saw the danger and threw himself against the outlaw. Lefty was knocked to the ground, and in the next instant, the constable had disarmed him.
Lefty, you're covered.
Good work, Sergeant.
I didn't have anything to do with it. It was Scar that shot you.
You're both under arrest in the name of the Queen. I warn you, anything you say will be used against you.
Oh, that was a close call. King saved my life.
Get them handcuffed, Ted.
Right.
You've been wounded, Clem.
Just below my shoulder. They bandaged me.
Oh, let's see.
They didn't want me to die before I told them where I'd cached Ma's strongbox. They said they'd kill her if I didn't.
They won't have a chance to do any killing from now on. And King showed us where the strongbox was, Clem. Don't worry about it. Safe on my sled.
Good. You sure pack a wallop, Sergeant.
Don't like the looks of this wound. We better get you home as quickly as possible.
Gosh, Sergeant. For some reason, that doesn't sound bad to me at all.
And so Clem was carried to his sled. And as dawn broke the next morning, he was lying in his own bed. With warmth and food, he rallied, and it was clear that he would recover.
Oh, you're looking better, son.
Oh, I'm fine, Ma. Are you going to leave now, Sergeant?
We have to, Clem. We have to get Scar and Lefty down to White Pass. But, Clem, there's one question I want to ask you before I go.
Oh, what's that?
You still want to go up to the Klondike?
Oh, gosh, no, Sergeant. There's no place like home. And thanks for getting me back here.
Sergeant, I don't have to tell you how grateful I am.
And thank King, too.
He's right here.
Oh, good boy, King. I guess it was you who tracked those killers down.
All the way from Moose River. King never lost the trail once.
If he had, if you hadn't got here when you did...
We don't have to think about that now, Mrs. Grantland. You and Clem are safe, and with Scar and Lefty in the hands of the law, the case is closed.
In just a moment, Sergeant Preston will give you a preview of Friday's adventure. Say, if you can't make up your mind which you like best, Quaker puffed wheat or Quaker puffed rice, here's what you do. Don't miss out on either kind of these delicious, ready-to-serve cereals. Always keep a supply of both kinds on hand. Eat Quaker puffed wheat one time, Quaker puffed rice the next. Wheat or rice shot from guns is never sold in bags or bulk. Be sure to look for the big red and blue package with the smiling Quake Man on the front. That's the only way to get the original, crisp, fresh Quaker puffed wheat and Quaker puffed rice. These radio dramas, a feature of the Challenge of the Yukon Incorporated, are created and produced by George W. Trendle, directed by Fred Flowerday, and supervised by Charles D. Livingston. The part of Sergeant Preston is played by Paul Sutton. They are brought to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at the same time by Quaker puffed wheat and Quaker puffed rice, the breakfast cereal shot from guns. Listen Friday when Sergeant Preston and Yukon King meet the challenge of the Yukon in the case of the Lost River Ambush.
On our way back from Barton Pass with our two prisoners, we ran into more trouble at Lost River. Louis Sorel, a likable French-Canadian, had done too much talking about the money he'd received for his furs. As a result, he nearly lost his life. For that matter, so did King and I.
Be sure to hear this exciting adventure Friday. For delicious hot breakfast, eat Quaker Oats. The giant of the cereals is Quaker Oats. Yes, the giant of the cereals is Quaker Oats. Delicious, nutritious, makes you feel ambitious. The giant of the cereals is Quaker Oats. Say, boys and girls, do you want to be a star someday in sports and activities? Then start on good Quaker Oats breakfast tomorrow. 'Cause nourishing oatmeal gives you more growth and endurance than any other whole grain cereal. Still less than 1 penny a serving. Quaker and Mother's Oats are the same. This is J. Michael wishing you goodbye, good luck, and good health from Quaker puffed wheat and Quaker puffed rice. So long. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
76 years ago, June 5th, 1949, Challenge of the Yukon here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And we are in the process of upgrading those shows right now. You heard some of the horrible noise during those shows, and we just had a bad one there. But I will tell you that we are going to, in fact, I'm in the process of doing some upgrades on those shows right now, going to the sources I got them from. We periodically are able to get upgrades, and that helps. We just did that with Tales of the Texas Rangers as well. Hopefully we'll be able to get some of those shows on here for you when we get back to the fall, because they're off during the summer as well. But they were very good shows, so we'll get to those. All right, coming up tomorrow, as I said on the show earlier, I said that we will have shows from D-Day and from D-Day Plus One for the next 2 days here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Let's see if the mood has picked up in Pine Ridge as we check in with Lum and Abner next.
Do you remember during the war how USO camp shows used to entertain our servicemen and women here and abroad? Well, the war is over, but the USO is still very active, providing not only entertainment, but recreation, comfort, and guidance to 2.5 million men and women in the armed services. Now, during USO month, Let's all salute the USO and help it to continue its valuable work. The USO is a volunteer federation of 6 national agencies. They are the YMCA, the YWCA, the National Catholic Community Service, the National Jewish Welfare Board, the Salvation Army, and the National Travelers Aid Association. These organizations provide thousands of volunteers to help lighten the burden of military service. Basically, the job of the USO is to provide a home away from home for those in service. Its activities include clubs, dances, picnics, canteens, and entertainments. The USO is supported by you, the American people, through United Funds, community chests, and personal contributions. Keep up the morale of our armed services. Keep up the USO.
In fact, the USO continues to keep our servicemen in good spirits to this day. So, some things that are good stay around. We go back now 83 years, June 5th, 1942 for Lum and Abner. And I hope the spirits have picked up as we learned yesterday. A Pine Ridge boy was killed in action. We'll hear about the action that Cedric's going to get involved with today in this episode of Lum and Abner.
The makers of Alka-Seltzer bring you Lum and Abner. Well, sir, folks, another week's work's nearing an end for some of us, and we're looking forward to a weekend of relaxation and fun. Others, of course, will stay on the job and take their time off a little later on. But when we do get a day or two for ourselves, it's mighty important that we enjoy that day or two. For if we do, we'll get back on the job feeling refreshed and raring to dig in and get a lot done. Careful, though, and don't overdo it and have too good a time. But if you do, if you forget your better judgment, be sure to remember Alka-Seltzer. You can feel better fast when you take Alka-Seltzer for the headaches, the minor stomach upsets, and the muscular aches and pains that frequently follow weekend activities, thanks to the remarkable combination of ingredients which Alka-Seltzer contains. So, get a package of modern, effervescent Alka-Seltzer tablets from your druggist before your fun starts. And then perhaps you won't have to go back to work feeling down in the dumps. And now, let's see what's going on down in Pine Ridge. Well, what with promoting the sale of war bonds and stamps and operating the new greeting card department of Lum's Publishing Company, the old fellows are keeping themselves pretty busy. Lum is out trying to drum up some greeting card business, and so, as we look in on the little community today, we find Abner running the Jot-'em-Down store alone. Cedric Wehunt is just entering. Listen.
Well, come in, Cedric, come in.
Howdy, Mr. Abner.
What can I do for you today?
Oh, nothing, I don't think.
Well.
Doggone it anyway.
Well, what's the matter with you?
Oh, I'm mad, I think. I hate and despise that Gomer Bates.
Gomer Bates?
Yes, Mom.
Well, now, what has he went and did to you, Cedric?
Well, I don't think I'll ever speak to him again as long as I live. I just hate and despise him.
Well, tell me what he's done, Cedric. Must be something awful the way you're talking.
Oh, 'tis awful.
Well, I wish you'd tell me what it is.
Well, you know there's going to be a party Saturday night over at the schoolhouse.
Oh, yeah, I heard little Pearl telling Elizabeth about that, a box supper,
Yes,
yeah.
Mom. Well, guess who's carrying Clarabelle to the party? Gomer Bates, that's who.
Oh, I see. Now, don't tell me that you're jealous, Cedric.
You oughtn't to laugh about this, Mr. Abner. This is serious business.
Oh, prattle.
I couldn't even keep my mind on the pinball machine this morning. Made the worst score I ever made in my whole life.
Why, doggies, this has affected you if you can't keep your mind on that pinball game.
Hate and despise him.
Well, now, don't go getting your back up over a little thing like this, Cedric.
I believe I hate and despise Clarabelle, too. Because I think she sort of encouraged Gomer to do this.
What do you mean, encouraged him?
Well, she called him up and asked him to take her.
Oh.
Clarabelle's little sister told me that.
Well, I do know. Hi, Doggies, you know what I think, Cedric. I believe that Clarabelle's just doing this to make you jealous. That's about what she's doing.
How do you mean, Mr. Evans?
Well, that's sort of the way women are, Cedric. When a woman figures she ain't getting enough attention, all such as that, why, she tries to make you jealous so you'll take her to picture shows and buy her presents and stuff like that.
Well, does Clarabelle want some presents?
Well, I reckon she does. Most every woman usually does.
Oh, I never know that.
Oh, my head.
Reckon what kind of a present she wants?
Oh, I don't know. You'll have to find that out from her, Cedric.
Oh, I ain't going to do it. I ain't going to speak to her no more, I don't think.
Oh, now, Cedric, now, don't act this way. Doggies, you just buy her a present, I'll bound you she'll change her mind and go with you Saturday night instead of that Gomer Bates.
Well, I'd sure like to go to the party, but I ain't going to have nothing to do with Clarabelle, I'll bet you.
Yes, you are too, Cedric. Now, you just do what I tell you. I tell you what we'll do. We'll get Lum to print up a nice greeting card to go with the present. He ought to be back pretty soon. He went out this morning to see if he could get some orders for his greeting card business.
No, I ain't going to do it, Mr. Abner. I ain't sending Clarabelle nothing. Never.
Well, I don't know what you can do about it then, Cedric. Oh, wait a minute now. There is one other way of handling cases like this. You can make her jealous of you.
Make her jealous?
Yeah.
Of me?
Why, sure. I mean, well, just call up some other girl and ask her to go to the party with you, and then she sees you there with another girl, and that'll make her jealous.
I couldn't do that. I ain't never hardly talked to no other girl, hardly. Leastways, not on the telephone.
Well, Doggies, it's high time you was learning how to do it then, Cedric. Let's see now, what girl around here'd be a good one for you? How about that Barton girl, Mildred? Yeah, call her up, Cedric.
Oh, no, Mr. Ebner, I can't do that.
Oh, well, you want to go to the party, don't you?
Yes, Mom, I want to go to that party awful bad.
Well, then, call up Mildred.
I ain't going to do it. I ain't no good talking on the telephone.
Why, there ain't nothing to it, Cedric. Doggies, wait a minute. I'll ring the phone for you myself, and then you can do the talking after we get her on the phone and tell her what you want.
Gosh, I don't know what to say, Mr. Abner.
Well, all you got to do is just tell her who you are and what you want, and then if she said, wait a minute. Hello? Miss Barton? Is Mildred there?
Oh, my goodness.
Well, ask her to step to the phone, please, Mom. Somebody wants to talk to her.
Hope she ain't there.
Yes, Mom, if you please. Here now, Cedric, take a receiver.
Oh, I ain't going to do it.
Yes, you are, too. Now, here, come here. Now, you stand up here. Now, take that receiver. Now, come on now, get up closer to the mouthpiece there. Start talking.
What'll I say?
Well, start out with saying hello to see if she's there at the phone.
Hello? Yeah, she's there.
No, well, go ahead and talk to her.
Is this Mildred? Yeah, it's Mildred, all right.
Well, tell her who's calling, Cedric.
Hello, who's calling?
Tell her that it's you that's calling.
Oh, it's me calling. Yes, Mom, Cedric Weehunt. You guessed me.
Such a boy.
Well, just a minute, Mildred. What do I say now, Mr. Abner?
Asked her if she wants to go to the party with you, Cedric.
I can't do that.
Now, you go on. Don't just stand there giggling. Talk to her.
Hello, say, Mildred, goodbye.
Well, for the land's sakes, now what'd you do that for?
I don't know. Just couldn't seem to say nothing.
Oh, my goodness.
My tongue got all tangled up there or something.
The very ideas a big boy like you not being able to talk on the telephone. Now, you call her right back. Go on, pick up the phone there. Call her back. Doggies, I'm going to see that you go through with this.
All right. I'd sure like to go to the party, all right. I'll try it once more.
Why, sure, that's a thing to do. Go on now, call her.
Two shorts and a long one.
Yeah, that's it. And just be calm this time, Cedric, and say what you got to say before you get scared that way.
Hello? Say, would you go with me Saturday night?
That's a time.
Mom? Uh-oh, just a minute.
Now what?
That ain't Mildred.
Huh?
That's her papa. He wants to know where I want him to go.
Well, tell him it's Mildred you want to talk to. Well, me old man Barton wouldn't want to go to no party with you. All he ever wants to do is to go fishing.
Hello, Mr. Barton. It ain't no party, it's a fishing trip.
No, Cedric, no.
Yes, Mom. Yes, Mom?
Oh, my.
Oh, well, bring him along. All right, Mr. Barton. Goodbye.
Bring who along?
His brother-in-law.
Huh?
Now, look what you got me into, Mr. Abner. Now I got to go fishing Saturday night, and I want to go to that party.
I never got you into this, Cedric.
You did done it.
I
You put me
never
up to
done no
calling.
such
You
a
done
thing.
it.
Now, you done this yourself. What'd you tell him that about a fishing trip anyway?
I don't know. I got all mixed up, and then after I said it, it seems like I couldn't take it back hardly.
Well, now, you just call him right back and tell him it's all a mistake. You don't want to go fishing.
Oh, I don't believe I could do that.
Well, you want to go to the party, don't you?
Yes, Mom, I sure do.
All right, call him up in right now before it's too late.
Yeah, I reckon that's the best thing to do, huh? Try it again.
Why, sure, that's the best thing to do. Fact is, it's the only thing to do if you want to go to the party, I'll tell you that.
I hope he won't be mad at me. Hello? Say about this fishing trip. Mom? Uh-oh. Hello, Shorty.
Shorty?
Just a minute, Shorty.
Better not call
I
him
must have
that.
got the wrong ring, Mr. Abner. I got Shorty Foster this time.
Oh, well, tell him it's a mistake and hang up the phone then.
Hello, Shorty. Say, listen, I just talked to Mr. Barton and his brother-in-law about going fishing, but it was... Mom?
That boy, he's behind.
Saturday night.
He was sure
Yes,
behind,
Mom.
behind the door when the
Yeah, but listen, Shorty. Well, yeah, I reckon it'll be all right. Yep. All right, Shorty. Bye.
You reckon what will be all right?
Shorty wants to ask a couple of his friends to go along on a fishing trip.
Hi, doggy Cedric, you're just getting yourself in deeper all the time. Now, what do you keep letting everybody think you're going fishing for?
I don't know, it's silly of me, ain't it?
It sure is.
Just seems to work out that way, though. Well, going anyway. This is one time I don't want to go fishing. I want to go to that party.
Well, it's your own fault if you don't get to go. Now, you just call them fellers up again and get this straightened out right now, Cedric.
I ain't going to call nobody.
Go on and call them on
I
that
ain't
phone.
going to do it, Mr. Abner. Every time I get on that phone, the fishing party gets bigger. My car won't hold no more.
Well, you don't have to go on this fishing trip.
Yes, I do. I'm the one's getting it up, looks like.
Well, you can be the one that calls it off, and now you tell him that, tell him you're just taking sick with the measles or something. Or, wait a minute, I believe that's our ring.
I don't want the measles. I want to go to that party.
Be quiet. Hello, jot him down, store and libraries. Abner Peabody doing the talking. Who? Yeah, he's here. Just a minute. Here's for you, Cedric. I don't know who it is. Sounds like some young feller. Go ahead.
Hello? Yeah, this is Cedric. Oh, hello, Gomer.
Gomer? Well, Gomer Bates.
You would?
Don't start no fight with him over the phone.
Ain't you going to the party Saturday night? Oh. Uh-huh. Yeah, well, we'd be proud to have you come along, Gomer. Yeah. All right, Gomer. Goodbye.
For goodness sakes, was that Gomer Bates?
Yes, Mom. He heard about the fishing trip from Shorty Foster, so he called up Clarabelle and told her he couldn't go to the party.
Well, I do know. Doggy, this is working out all right after all, Cedric. Wonderful world.
What's wonderful about it? I want to go to that party, doggone it.
Well, don't you see, Cedric? This is your chance to go. Clarabelle will have to go with you now as long as Gomer ain't taking her.
Yeah, that's right, ain't it?
Why, sure, just call her up and tell her you're going to take her to the party.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. Call her up. Boy.
Yeah, sure, I never seen nothing work out like this in my whole life. Just like a storybook, you know it?
Hello? Hello? Is that you, Clarabelle?
I got it fixed.
Well, let's hear Cedric. Yeah. Say, Clarabelle, will you go to the party with me Saturday night? Oh. I see. Oh. All right, Clarabelle. Goodbye. Oh, gone it anyway.
Now, what's the matter? Won't you go with you?
Well, she can't. She's got to stay home and take care of the young'uns.
The young'uns? Well, can her mama and papa do that?
No, Mom. They're going fishing with me and Mr. Barton.
Well, it would seem that Cedric's fishing trip is all a mistake. But friends, make no mistake about this. Are you getting your daily supply of vitamins, especially those B vitamins? Well, if you're not, maybe you should, because today in wartime, we're all working harder, taxing nerves and digestion and using up energy as never before. Now, would you like to know an easier and more convenient way to get your extra B-complex vitamins? Well, it's the one-a-day way. 1 tablet a day is all you take, and 1 tablet a day is all you pay for. Just compare one-a-day brand B-complex tablets with the capsules or tablets you have to take 3 or 4 times a day. Now, you'll agree that's a lot of bother, and it can be mighty expensive, too. The one-a-day way is a modern, convenient, and economical way, because Each one-a-day B-complex tablet supplies the average person with his daily minimum requirements of the important B vitamins, whose requirements have been established. Look, folks, take a single one-a-day tablet every day, won't you? Remember, just one-a-day brand vitamin B-complex tablet every day. That's why the one-a-day way costs you so little. Only about 25 or 26 cents a week, depending on the size you buy. Ask your druggist for one-a-day brand vitamin B-complex tablets. He has them in 3 sizes. And say, look for that big 1 on the package.
So it sounds like Cedric's going to end up going fishing anyway. 83 years ago, June 5th, 1942, Lum and Abner, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Join us tomorrow for the sounds of D-Day, 81 years ago, here on Classic Radio Theater. See you tomorrow. I'm Wyatt Cox.